Oh, fuck. Oh, I live tired. Shouldn't be tired. Fucking fell asleep at 8 o'clock yesterday.
The more you sleep, the more tired you'll be. Mm, mhm, mhm, mhm. Alright. It is shared out. I co-signed a loan when buying my daughter a new car. The dealership called and wants us to bring the car back in to take out the extra accessories that weren't included in the price. Should we take the car back or say no? First off, you say fuck no. You fucked up. We keep the shit. There's only two things they can do about it. You willingly go back. Well, by now it's probably too late, but if it's within a day or two, what they'll have you do is they'll have you re-sign a purchase agreement and a new financing contract. And that's if you have excellent credit and there is money in the back end. If not, they may ask for the money and you have to pay out of pocket for that. Or in this case, they would try to take the accessories out to resell them later. But that's only if you let them. Once you sign the purchase agreement, once you do the financing or pay cash for the vehicle, you drive off the lot. That is it. That is it. There is absolutely nothing they can do. They can try to take you to civil court, but they will lose. And also, what dealership is going to take you to civil court for accessories less than $1,000, even a few grand?
Who are
Nobody.
you talking to? So
I'm
there's no one in
talking
the
to
chat.
you and
Oh, I don't
anybody
have a
who
daughter.
listens. And what's up, Crash? And anybody who replays this. Obviously, not everybody watches this live.
Well, I know. I thought it was someone actually asking a fucking question.
No, I'm reading through my phone. I'm waiting for people to come in. What up, Henry? You in here?
Yeah, I'm in here.
How you doing, man?
Annoyed, bruh.
No.
I'm peak annoyance, bruh.
Yeah, I feel that, bro. I'm not annoyed right now, but I
How
know
you
what
feel
you're
that then? How
feeling.
you feel that?
Well, I was feeling good till Nelson wants to shit on my life because I've decided to answer a fucking question that a lot of people ask all the fucking time
I just thought
because
someone
it's
was
all
asking.
about
It was just kind
Nelson.
of random.
If I'm
Like
not talking to
you're talking about
Nelson,
someone's daughter and shit like that. Like who? Who?
okay,
I don't know.
Nelson, swap out daughter, swap out sons, or swap out wife, or swap out yourself. This could happen at any time. Henry, let me ask you a question.
Not to
Have
me. I ain't
you,
buying them shit. Get a job.
Yeah, I get
uh,
a job.
Henry, you ever heard of anybody who bought a car from a dealership and the dealership calls them back to redo paperwork because of pricing mistakes or anything like that? Have you ever heard of
Nah.
that?
Uh.
Yeah, well, good for you. That's good. That means that you either don't know a lot of people that are buying new cars from the dealership, or they've all been clean paperwork, which is good. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, I'm cool. Cause I mean, the only person I know that buys like that bought new cars has been my wife.
Well,
Like
it doesn't have to be a new
she's done.
car. It could be a pre-owned vehicle from a dealership. Just any transactions you've done at the dealership.
Oh yeah, nah, just my wife. Because anytime I bought cars, it been from like one of the homies or somebody I knew that was selling the car. I ain't never done them from a
Secondhand.
dealership.
What's
Yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah.
RPG? You're more than welcome to hop in. FYI, we will be talking a little bit about Death Stranding. I know it wasn't
New
the
cars is
topics.
crazy. That's like the only thing you can walk out the damn door with and automatically lose 10 grand with.
So if you want to
My
hop
cousin, like
in,
I tell you, my cousin, this was back in like 2017. My cousin brought a brand new transmission. Fucked. It fucked.
well, that'll be a
Yeah,
lemon. That will fix that.
My
yeah,
mom
yeah.
had
I
three
mean, yeah, it
trans.
worked out.
My mom bought a what? It was a Chevy Malibu. That thing had three transmissions before it hit 35,000.
Yeah, that would be a lemon. That would take
She
care of
tried to
that.
sell it to me,
Because
and
of course, I
she had
mean,
like 80,000 on it. And I'm like, I don't want that thing. You've had everything replaced. She's like, yeah, everything on it's been replaced. It's like a brand new car. I'm like, get
I
the
would have
fuck out of
taken
here. I
it.
don't. I
Fuck.
want to.
If they
yeah.
replace everything, I'll
Sometimes,
take that shit.
It's a whole new
sometimes
goddamn
that
car, but
that
some of the shit
happens.
had been replaced 2-3 times too.
Fuck, I'll take that motherfucker.
The
That's
warranty was up. That's why she wanted to sell it.
Don't matter, you get it. It's gonna be cheaper anyways. It's a lot of benefits, especially if they've been done work. I mean, but lemons are super rare now. You don't see,
yeah, super rare,
that's not a
super
thing that
rare.
happens. I mean, in my 10 years of working, or not 10
Now
years,
this
but
is
my
like 10 years ago, anyways.
7 years. Well, yeah, because I was working auto businesses. I started 2012, uh, worked through 2018. Uh, Never saw a lemon, and I worked Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Subaru, Toyota, Honda. And then after that, I went to the high end cars: Infiniti, Porsche, Maserati, BMW, Mercedes, shit like that. And you just don't see that
Hmm.
shit.
Well,
You
you
may
ain't gonna
see
see
it.
no lemon in Toyota.
Oh, you see it in all brands. It's not what
Yeah,
people don't
yeah. It
understand about
happens. It
what
happens.
about vehicles in general is it's like anything. It's like a line. What do you call those? The production lines. The production line is stamping out the part consistently. It doesn't matter what the fuck they're making. A PS5, it doesn't matter. It punches it out, right?
Yeah, I
Let's
know. I
say they do.
manufacture shit.
So it doesn't matter. Eventually, there's gonna be an error in the punch out. It's just the way that it is.
Yep.
It's statistics. It's numbers. You're
Yeah, I
not
know,
gonna
but for
get
one
perfect.
vehicle to have multiple things is not. That's got to be really rare.
Well, a lemon is not
Like
gonna
if it
have
was
multiple
if it was
things.
one part, like I used to make intake halves or what the hell are they? Transfer cases or something like that. That transfer case would be fucked, but the rest of it should be fine.
Well, a
That's
lemon
that's that's that's
generally
down by the transmission, ain't it? The transfer
Yeah.
case.
it's gonna be the
Yeah.
same part that, or it's the same. It's well, a lemon isn't a car that has numerous different problems. A lemon is a car that's got the same exact problem 3 times. Then that's considered 3 or 5 times, something like that. I don't remember, but it's the same exact problem. Now, if you have line one that has the mistake ratio of every 10,000 parts, you're gonna get one that's fucked up, and then you have line two that has every 20,000 is gonna get one fucked up. There is a chance where you're going to get both those parts where the machine one hits the 10,000 mark, produces the fucked up part. The machine two, it's at the 20,000 part mark and it gets that fucked up part and it happens to go to the same place. That does happen, but that's even more rare. So generally, they classify a lemon just as the one part that goes wrong multiple times. And that could
Hmm.
be affected by different things. I mean, the pressure of whatever goes into that part is
A
off,
lot, a
which
lot of the
causes the
time,
part.
the reason that you'd have something like that happen is you don't pressure test the parts because that'll tell you a lot of faults.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
Like you
usually.
put,
yeah. I've not worked in automotive machining. I've worked
I
in
have.
structural steel, and a lot of times when that happens inside structural steel is because the motherfucker that's operating the machine operator ain't paying the fucking attention. Because you're supposed to do your own QC after so many parts press out. You're supposed to like check it and make sure the measurements are correct. And a lot of times people don't check it.
Yeah, when
So
you're doing engine stuff too, or transmission stuff, you're supposed to like gauge
yeah,
all the stuff, every part, because when you're at high end parts like that, the failure, like if you're off 2/10 of a thou, that could be a
yeah.
bad part.
Well, a lot of the
Cause
shit too is
I was
timed. So like when I work quality control, before I joined the military, there'd be different checks and it'd be done at different times. So like every hour for one thing, you go and then you weigh it, measure it, make sure it fits the the specs. And some checks are every 10-15 minutes, so it just depends. But how many of those parts or how many of that item go through within that minute or 10 minutes or an hour? So
Yeah, that's a
you're not
fact.
gonna catch everything, but they do a pretty good job. I mean, the quality control nowadays is crazy because it costs money. You get a faulty whatever, you gotta pay usually to get it back. You
Thousands of
gotta
dollars.
pay to
Yeah.
fix it or replace it.
Like
Then you gotta pay to
transmission
send
type
it out.
stuff that I've made, usually your tolerance is 3/10 of a thou, which is a human hair is 3 thou. So you cut that up 10 times, it's one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I worked at
So
when
if
I
you
worked
take one piece of your hair, cut it up 10 times, you got one of those tenths. That's
Yeah,
how much leeway
I
you
ain't
got.
worked on that strict. Because even with
I
like the
have.
structural steel, you got it's like you got up to like a half an inch to where it can be off this
Holy
way or that
shit.
way. Yeah,
That's enormous in fucking
yeah,
machining.
because it's going inside like skyscrapers and stuff, so they'll make it fit once you get out there, and it's in spec. You know what I mean? So they're not gonna call that. Because I was pressing, and I was sending out 10 skids a night. That equate to 100,000 feet of um beams, 100,000 feet of beams. I was sending that out a night, and long as it's within that spec, because at the very least, because buildings they sway in the wind. They don't just they're not rigid. They'll move in wind and stuff. So it's not. I guess that's why it's not as strict because they allow for a certain amount of movement.
And there's nothing combustible either.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's
Like
just
we just had to throw out a bunch of stuff because it was a couple thou too low, and if you put oil through there, it's gonna leak under the what do you call it? The fucking gaskets.
manifold.
So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
manifold and yeah, yeah, yeah.
it'll leak under the gaskets, and then it'll blow, and yeah, it ain't gonna be no good.
So we had some Japanese engineers come when I worked at Subaru. They used to send whenever the new models came out, we would do shit like we would go to the racetrack and fucking race the cars, especially for like when the
Nice.
BRZ first
Fucking
came out.
Japanese don't play, dude. When you make an American, if it's close, it's close enough. But if it's Japanese, if it's close, it's
Yeah,
no
they don't
good.
bullshit.
You throw that a
So
bit. You throw that bitch away.
so the
If it's
Japanese
close to being out, it's out. Just throw it away. Don't take no chances.
so the
It's American. It's
Japanese
fucking
were
close enough,
we
yo.
were asking questions and I don't know who brought it up, but the topic was, about longevity in vehicles and shit and why the Japanese have long lasting cars and the engineer was like, well, I'm gonna give you guys two example, Japanese car and a German made vehicle. We both make vehicles, but we make them completely different. The Japanese way of making a car is and they gave us the example of a Subaru, right? Because that's where I was at the time. They're like, we make a Subaru with the customer in mind, meaning what type of things is this customer going to do with this car? Now, we'll use a Subaru Outback, for example, right? The Outback is kind of like an outdoor kind of vehicle where you can kind of take
Hmm.
it off road for winter driving, shit like that. But then he said, but what else would our customers be capable of doing with this vehicle, whether we designed for it or not? Are they going to be trying to tow a boat that is over the weight? Are they going to be trying to haul construction shit even though you're not supposed to? And what we do is we then adjust, even though it's not within our parameters, we adjust for the crazy shit that our customers are going to do. Are they going to change their oil at 6,000 miles? Nope. They probably will change it at 12,000 miles. So let's make our engines to support all that fucked up shit our customers are going to do. Now let's take a look at German engineering. German engineering is also great, but they have a different philosophy. Their philosophy is as long as the customer does every single thing that we ask them to do as far as maintenance goes and the way that they drive the vehicle and just follow the book to the T, to the I, this car will last you a long, long time. So you have two different philosophy. One is like, fuck it, our customers are gonna fuck this shit up, so let's expand our range of, our responsibility. Where the Germans are like, hey, if you fucking even take this outside of the line a little bit, you're gonna get the car fucked up. But if you keep it within the lines, it's gonna last you forever. So it's all gonna be,
That's why people in
Americans.
third world countries drive Toyotas because those motherfuckers ain't gonna see oil for another goddamn century.
So it's all different, and they're all gonna have,
It is all different.
you're not gonna really find things that you find in a
You see those
German and
jingle trucks
American
overseas? Those
and
fucking
vice
70s and
versa.
80s Toyotas that they use in the Middle East? Motherfuckers ain't never seen oil.
But while we got
Or
some
paint, for that matter. Ain't seen paint since that bitch was new 40 years ago.
finally got some people in here. We killed a little bit of time. Thank y'all for being here. Welcome to the State of Gaming podcast. This beautiful Sunday evening where I feel like they stole an hour of my life. I completely forgot that daylight savings was completely over today. I had no clue.
I was driving to work this morning and I was like, fuck, I'm going to be over an hour early. And then I checked my phone. I'm like, nah, never mind. I'm good.
Shit,
I wasn't even aware.
I fell asleep on the couch last night, and it was like midnight or 12:30, and I woke up, and it felt like I just fell asleep maybe like 40 minutes ago, maybe even an hour. I look at my phone, it's like 3:30. I'm like, that makes no sense. I did not sleep for no 2 fucking hours out here. Well, I turn everything off. I brush my teeth. I go to bed, and I wake up, and I'm like, oh shit, it's fucking 10:30 in the morning. No way. It feels like it's 9. I Google it and it's daylight fucking savings time. I fucking hate it. I hate it. They should just keep the hour an hour back. Let me get an hour of my life. It's disgusting what they do to us every 8 months out the year where we have to live fucking an hour ahead.
I like the extra daytime during the summer because I don't give
Yeah,
a fuck about winter.
Fuck that. I like my
I don't
shit
care
to be
about winter.
fucking. I want my time back. If the sun wants to be out, great. If not, fuck it. I have vitamin D pills for that. But thank y'all for being here tonight, man. We do have some pretty good topics to go over tonight. And today's going to be more of a conversation with the boys, man. We got Henry in the house. Of course, we have Mr. Nelson as well. I was hoping for another special guest to show up, but hey, he'll show up if he wants to. If not, the doors are always open for him. And let's get this popping. And whoa, what a Sunday. I am excited. I'm glad that we do this show on Sundays because this is the second Sunday in about 6 months that we got some breaking news. The first Sunday was when Halo Studios changed their name to Halo Studios, which happened on a Sunday. We were able to have the podcast that same day. Well, not 6 months ago. That feels like it's too long. Maybe 3 months ago. And we were able to cover that. And then today, Mr. Kojima had his little show that he did, and he also gave us a 10-minute trailer for Death Stranding 2. He gave us release date. He gave us collector's edition. He gave us some cool information. So we'll go ahead and talk about that tonight as well. But first, let me introduce my guest. And here we have Mr. Henry Heck. Thanks for being here, Henry. How are you? What games have you been playing? All that.
Yes, sir. It's your boy, the boy Henry Heck, back at it with another stream with the boys over here. State of Game, Will Triple Seven JP, Nelson Game and Culture 12. I think I'm not sure, but I recently beat Monster Hunter Wilds campaign. Awesome game. 9 out of 10. If you ain't played it, go play it. If you're thinking about playing it, go fucking play it. If you're on the fence, get off the fence. Go get
Monster
it.
Hunter's ass.
Nah, it's not ass. Top tier gaming. Top tier gaming. And I also been playing it's this game. I bought this game. Matter of fact, this is gonna be a gem because I'm gonna make a video on this. So I'm gonna give y'all what you call it, exclusive. Abyss Seeker. This game is $2 on PSN, and it's kind of like a Vampire Survivor type game. You know how Vampire Survivor is. Me and the wife last night was on this bit till like 12 at night. She was playing until she died. I played till I died. She'll play, etc. We just swapping. And it's that type of game. It's super fun. It's $2. Go purchase that bitch. Abyss Seeker. We're gonna put it down in the description. You feel what I'm saying? Will, you put it down in the description. And it's another game.
Gotcha.
It's called Rustler, which is like a medieval style top down GTA style game. Um, I got it on sale. I have been keeping an eye out on it. It came out a few years ago, but I bought it. I want to say I caught it on sale for like $14, $15. I'm gonna also send you the link for this. And it's like I said, it's like the OG GTA, like GTA 2, not GTA 3, to where it's top down. You can steal carriages and beat people up, and it's fun. They speak gibberish like Sim style, but it's hella fun, like low tier fun. It's not like super deep story or super deep action or nothing. It's just a fun, knock around type of game for the cheap because every game ain't got to be a 10. Some games that's a 7 are also fun. And lastly, the game I've been playing is War Robots Frontiers. It's a PvP mech style game and it's fun than a bitch. It's a slower pace of PvP, but you got different mechs. You got the Vanguard style mech, you got a sniper style mech, you got a defensive style mech, and it's on Xbox, PlayStation, PC. It's hella fun. At this point I put 23 hours into it since Friday, and heat. So I do recommend this on the friends list. Let me see who all. Only four of the homies on the friends list played it. Woolly Gamer has also played it. You know what I mean? So they let you know. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now, and that's what I've been playing. And also, I've been today. I played V Rising, the one, the only RPG 88. Shout out to my mishap yesterday evening, but we've been playing V Rising for like 2 hours. We played for like 2 hours.
Y'all didn't even invite me,
Co-op.
bro.
I thought about it.
What do you mean?
Listen. No, me and RPG wanted some private time. We wanted some bonding time. But
Y'all were kissing and shit. Okay, I get it.
We wanted to, we wanted to hang out.
Y'all
with
were
just us.
scissoring. The same shit I wanted to happen during Split Fiction, y'all were doing. That's fucked up. I've been telling RPG I want to see them bitches scissor. I didn't see it. Y'all go ahead and do it behind my back. Okay. I see what we do now.
Yeah, so it was just us. We was
I'm gonna
just
tell
vibing.
I pinned the link to the game. I'm gonna unpin that shit now.
No, it was just us. We had a vibe. We went and killed some.
Like I don't like
some
vampires.
beasts. Yeah. Hey. Listen, that's our thing now. That's our thing.
Y'all
can
just
do
use
whatever
me.
y'all. Yeah, that's our thing. You can do whatever you want to do. But yeah, that's what I've been on.
That's dope, bro. I'm glad that that I'm gonna buy that Abyss Seeker's only $2, and I like Vampire Survivors a lot. Like that game for a while, like I was just playing every day, just like my warm up game before I started my actual gameplay. You know what I mean? So that seems like one of those games too. Mr. Nelson, gaming culture. How have y'all been? And also, what you been playing on?
Exhausted. I ain't been playing a whole lot of anything. I ain't even started Split Fiction yet. Been working.
All right. Well,
Yelling at my
moving on.
kids.
Hey, Nelson funny to the motherfucker, bro.
Well, moving on
Crabby.
then. I have been
My feet hurt.
playing. So me and RPG88 beat Split Fiction last night. Man, what a ride it was. We will go ahead and talk about that a little bit later on in the show. I also beat this week Nobody Wants to Die, which is a really good game. Very, very, very good story. It motivated me to buy another game, which is called Black Sad. You guys should see the video on that unboxing tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. And then you should also see I did another video on that. I got like 4 videos already scheduled to be uploaded on YouTube, so keep an eye out on those. I think that one should be releasing either Tuesday or Wednesday, and that is going to be Does It Play Without Any Internet? But I got that game because I did beat Nobody Wants to Die, and now I'm in the whole narrative game mode right now. I feel like the video games I've been playing lately, the stories have kind of been lacking a little bit. Not that they're bad, but just not the deep gaming that we all like when we play PlayStation first
Are they
party
American?
games. No, they're not American.
Then I don't understand.
I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, so I beat those games, and then I started playing Skur Ritual, which you guys are seeing on the screen. I hope you guys like what you see because I really need some friends to play this game. You can play it solo, but man, would it be a blast if we had some friends in here. And it's a first-person shooter. If the game feels amazing, it feels really good, and it's a lot of fun. And it also does something different, which I've never seen in any of these type of games before. So it does a typical like a Call of Duty Zombies where you got to pay to open a door. but there's a story that goes along with that, and there's collectibles and shit. I just never seen that in one of these types of games. Maybe because I don't really play these types of games, but I found that to be interesting, and maybe that is the standard. I don't know, but that's what I've been playing today or this week. I did play a little bit of Monster Hunter last week. I'll jump back into that whenever my stepbrother gets it. I'm kind of waiting on him for a little bit, and then we got some more games coming out this month besides Split Fiction. We have
Yep.
Killing Floor, Atom Fall, which I want to get as well. Kazam Berserker comes out this month, and a couple others. But besides that, let's get into it, man. We'll wait on RPG till he gets. I think he wants to come in. We'll give him 20, 30
that
minutes.
was a new car. Sweet. Sorry,
We'll
I
give
just
him
want a new car.
20, 30 minutes to see if he comes in, and then we'll hop into the Death Stranding conversation. But let's talk a little. Let's bring it back to the old. What used to be. Well, it's not that old, but what's his name? Peter Moore, who used to be the CEO or president of Xbox,
And Sega and EA.
had a comment this week where he said. Here, let me pull it up real quick. I don't want to chop up his words. He says, I think that the console wars were healthy for the industry. And look, I've said it before. I did encourage the battle because I think gamers love to see Xbox versus PlayStation, maybe Nintendo as well. So this just confirms what we've all been talking about, right? Competition breeds excellence, especially in the video game industry. And this goes into part with what I was talking to Nelson, or I disagree with Nelson about, because Nelson thinks that the West is just going to disappear, go away, never do
Crash.
games again, which is never going to
Thank
fucking
Christ.
happen.
Goodbye.
There's just too much fucking money. You're not going to give up fucking
Yeah,
billions
but they suck at it. They cost too much.
But that doesn't matter. They're still going to be in it.
Bye.
I'm not saying that they're not garbage. I'm not saying that they're complete trash, because they fucking are. But they're not going to go away. There's just too much money involved for them to not go to just like, you know what, guys, we suck at this, we give up. No, that's not going to happen. It may come back around in 5 years, 10 years, who knows? But they're still going to be around making games.
Yeah, it'll work.
I mean, they're still making games right now. They still have games coming out right now. But competition does breed. And I was telling Henry when we were talking about something personal earlier today about how Xbox, if they would have came out with the lineup that they have going this year and not made a third party and did it early in the generation, they could have had a much better chance of surviving as the first party. You know,
they own too much. They bought too much shit to remain third party. That's part of their problem too.
But they
didn't
didn't
buy that much. They should have bought studios, and well, they've had studios. That's been their biggest problem. They've had studios in the past. They just never managed to come out with a game. They've had like a dozen studios that never produced a game. It just is what it is.
So my question is, and we'll start with our guest here tonight, Henry. Henry, competition. Do you think it breeds excellence? Two, do you think if Xbox would have had the same release schedule that they got this year, and not just a good release schedule, but the games they're releasing are also good. And Nelson brought up a good point. They had studios, but these studios, like, what were they doing for the last 10 years, right? Do you think that things would have been different if, you know, like what I said, if they would have released this shit in the beginning of the generation and more consistently? Do you think it would have been different, or you think they would have headed the third party route any fucking ways?
No, I don't feel as though they would have done third party anyway, because we saw the emails. Initially, all these games were supposed to be exclusive.
That's
And
before
then
they bought ABK.
But I'm just speaking to the emails what we saw, you know. And if it were me keeping it all the way trill, Xbox is anyway. If I was in Phil Spencer's position, I would have said, you know what, fuck all this. COD exclusive, Fable exclusive, Forza, PS niggas, go back. Well, you know what, fuck it. This after fuck it.
No, this is the State of Gaming podcast. There's no fucking. Don't you disrespect the podcast, Henry. We said what the fuck we want to say. If we want to say we want bitches to scissor, that's what the fuck we do.
but yeah, like PlayStation niggas, go get an Xbox. Doom, you wanna play Doom? Get a fucking Xbox. This bitch exclusive. You wanna play what Indiana Jones, Fable, what else? Whatever the fuck they got coming out. If you ain't got no fucking Xbox, you ain't fucking playing. Even PC niggas, I would have rolled that shit back. No, our games ain't coming to PC day and date. Fuck y'all. Get an Xbox. Come play this bitch over here. You know what I mean? Because we fucked anyway. So why not go out with a
Killing
fucking
Floor just
bang?
got delayed.
Well, look, if you want to play Killing Goddamn Flow, get you a fucking Xbox, motherfucker. And that's the only way. That's how I would have done it because that's the type of individual I am. I'd rather burn it all in the forest than give it to somebody who want to see me fail. You know what I mean? So if we already fucked with like, all right, let's say Will and Nelson, we running Xbox right now. What would you all rather do? Would you rather just keep it over here on Xbox? We just spent all this fucking money anyway. Would you rather us keep it here or just give it to everybody
So
in order to?
that's a good question, Henry. And I was actually going to ask something similar because if I was in the position of X, right, there's two sides to this because Xbox has dug themselves in a deep hole where they need to make money, right? They spent 70 billion with ABK. They spent what it was a 6 billion with Bethesda or some shit or 12 billion with Bethesda. I forget the amount, but they spent billions with Bethesda. So they're up to $100 billion in investments and they haven't been seeing any returns. Also, they have been spending a lot of money in producing these games, salaries, the whole nine yard. And the only place they seem to be making money is
It's
PlayStation,
PlayStation.
because not even
But no,
PC
no, no,
is.
no. Hey, listen. I'm talking about it's us three. Us three, we run fucking Xbox. How would you do it? It's us three.
Well, that's what I'm
We
getting
run it.
to. That's what I'm getting to
Okay,
because we
okay.
still have to look at the financials, right? We can't just say, you know what, we're gonna fucking do the biggest, best game ever. We're gonna invest $10 billion when all we got is $100 million. You know what I mean? Like, so obviously we got to look at the numbers real quick because I understand why Xbox is in this position. And if we took over, this position doesn't go away. It's still there. But what do we have that not Xbox or not PlayStation has, not Nintendo has, or no other video game company has? They got daddy Microsoft. So this is a time where if I was running it right now, I would be like, look, Microsoft, y'all been losing your ass off on us for fucking a decade. Okay. What's another 2 fucking years? What's another 2 fucking years? Let's go ahead, make these fucking games exclusives. Let's go ahead and fucking come out with a brand new fucking console. Let's fucking disregard this shit right now. Hold up, y'all. My headset got disconnected. You know, typical fucking PS Pulse shit.
No, not typical PS. You just got a faulty one. Not typical shit. It's faulty. You got one of the ones that didn't pass QC.
All right, I am back. So this PS Pulse headset disconnect all the time. They're a pain in the fucking ass.
I
No,
hate
no,
them.
you just got a bad one. You just got a bad one.
Nah, they all
No, they
trash.
all trash.
No,
Yeah,
you
fucking
not. Hey, hush, hush.
They're
We talking about
Nelson.
Xbox.
trash.
It
We talking
happens to
about Xbox.
Nelson. It happens to
It
No,
happens to
fucking
everyone I fucking know.
no,
Jazz. Yeah.
no.
But I'm like, look, Microsoft, we're gonna fucking get rid of these fucking consoles. The Series S, the Series X, get fucking rid of them. Come out with something brand fucking new, only one fucking console, and do the biggest marketing push we've ever done in the history. We're gonna attack PlayStation. We're gonna attack Nintendo. We're gonna come in and we're gonna fucking bully them with our money. We're gonna bully them with our software or our hardware as best we can, and we're gonna walk around here like our shit is the best. And we're gonna fucking make PlayStation earn these fucking sales and earn this fucking hardware sales. And just give us 2-3 years to do that. And after that, if it doesn't work, then shut the bitch down. But I think this is the time where they should go all in. I mean, look, Microsoft has been paying the fucking bills forever and losing. What's another fucking 1 or 2 years, bro? Like, just fucking do it for the next couple years, and that's how you're gonna turn your brand around. But if you're okay with, one of the things that Steve Jobs did with Apple, which made him so successful, is they did a closed end product, meaning that everything from within that product comes from within Apple. Like you can't really buy accessories for Apple. You cannot really buy software for Apple. It all comes from within itself. So you have benefits and negatives that go along with that, right? Xbox needs to do the same fucking thing if they really want to last. Otherwise, they're just gonna do what they do now, become third-party publishers and be at the fucking the hand of PlayStation whenever PlayStation gamers want to buy their games, and that will be it. But Nelson, what do you think about that?
I don't know, man. They needed to do that years ago, man. To be honest with you.
But we know that. But what would you do if you became CEO today?
I would sell that bitch off. I'm not gonna lie, get whatever I could out of it.
Fuck that, Nelson.
And fucking invest in AI.
See, I wouldn't do that. They still have value in there.
Not to invest in the AI.
I get whatever dollars they can give me.
Xbox is still a valuable company, man. I mean, look, they just with the Gears of War fucking rumor, right, that they're coming out early or this year in August or so, the ports, that IP has value. Fable has value.
That IP didn't make money in the last couple games. Why the hell would it make money now?
Because
Nelson off, bro. This motherfucker too negative for me.
Dude, he's been like this for 6 fucking months. I just ignore him. Halo still has fucking value, even though the last game was trash. It still has value.
10 years ago, should have sold that shit 10 years ago. That shit ain't worth a goddamn pot to piss in.
Nelson wants it to be either 10 years ago or the fucking West or the East. No in between. There's nothing else exists. That's not how it works. But you still have value in those IPs. Sure, they may not be as valuable as they were 10, 15 years ago, but they're still value. You can walk down the street and be like, hey, have you ever heard of Halo? And they'd be like, yes, I've heard of Halo.
Yeah, that was good 10 years ago.
You can walk down the street right now, and I guarantee you more people will know of Halo than God of War. More people will know of Halo than The Last of Us or Horizon or any fucking PlayStation IP. And I'm talking just random people. Your grandma at the fucking grocery store, she would know the name Halo. She may not know what it is, but she has heard that before. She hasn't heard of fucking Ghost of Tsushima or Horizon. That's the value that I'm talking about. And you can use that. You can market that. So you still have huge value there. What Xbox is doing is they don't know what else to do. They're seeing more money than they've ever seen before with fucking porting these games over to PlayStation, and they gave up. It's that simple. And I think they did it just a tad bit too fucking early. The giving up part. They gave up right at the time when they should have been going full-blown steam by making these games exclusives. Dude, they got Doom coming out. They got South of Midnight coming out. They got Fable coming out. They had Indiana Jones. They had some big hitters that would have really sold some consoles if it was exclusive, and they marketed it as exclusive, meaning no PC, meaning no fucking Fire Stick, no Samsung TV, no LG, none of that bullshit. You want to play my game, it has to be on a fucking Series X. Fuck the Series S. Series S is a streaming box. That's what I would do. You want to play these new games? Well, you can stream them on the Series S. Let's see how many of these fucking gamers will still stick with the Series S. PlayStation does a great job at doing this, right? What they do is they force their consumer to upgrade to PS Plus Premium. They force their consumer base to buy new plates for their new fucking, the 3rd edition of the PlayStation 5, the PS5 Pro, the fucking DualSense Edge Black, a simple fucking color. You have black and white. Black and white. That's it. Look at the Portal. Black and white. And the Portal has been in the top, 10 or 20 of accessories and gaming overall. Just by switching the fucking color to a simple ass color as black.
I will say, if you just to put this out here, if you don't mind tinkering, you can get the Spider-Man 2 DualSense. You can get a shell for your PS Portal. You can $30, and if you're willing to swap it yourself, you can swap it over. You can get they've been had black PS Portal shells. You can get the 30th anniversary, you can get that shell. It's shells you can get on the secondhand market if you're willing to open up your PS4.
But most people ain't willing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you buy a car from Honda, you take your car back to Honda to get it fixed. You buy your fucking, whatever your favorite type of bread is, whatever, you always go to the same place to get the type of bread. That's why Steve Jobs was so genius with this closed end product that he made, which is like, oh, you need to get it repaired? Well, you got to come to Apple. And not just that, we're going to call them fucking specialists. We're going to do, come on, they're minimum wage dudes that love, they're fanboys that work at Apple's. You know what I'm saying? But they give them a title, they give them some training, and you can only get it done there. And that's where you make the money. Like when I tell people this all the time, where do you think the dealership makes the most money? Selling new cars, used cars, finance? What do you think they make the most money?
Fixing used cars.
Used cars. Oh, the RPG.
What's up, RPG? How you doing? No, it's not fixing used cars. It's just fixing cars, period. Because guess what? Even though you buy a brand new car, you still got to get an oil change in that motherfucker. You still have fucking the warranty, bumper to bumper warranty is only 3 years. You know, the powertrain is 7 years, 100K, but you still take it to get it fixed. And whether the customer's paying, they get paid from the fucking manufacturer to fix it. What's the second most money maker in a dealership? What would you guys say?
Warranty, just selling the warranty.
Exactly. The finance department. When I was a finance manager, the biggest expense in that department, literally, I'm not bullshitting you, was the printer paper and me. That's it. My salary and the salary of me and my colleagues. We're each making $150K a year and fucking the printer paper. Spending fucking 100, I forget the number. It's like 40 grand a year on paper. Right? Because there's different types of papers, different type of contracts. But those are the two most profitable fucking departments of the dealership. The whole point of selling new and used cars is to get them in the finance department, and the finance department get them to the service department. They really don't give a fuck. That's why all dealerships lose money when they sell you a new car.
Yeah,
they don't make money.
It's like a $3,000 on top of your purchase price.
It depends on the car. It depends, like I could do a bumper to bumper wrap, for $1,000. It just kind of depends on the car, but they don't give a fuck about the new car sales. They don't care about that. That's why they'll sell you the car at a loss most of the time, especially in today's world.
Losing money right off the bat.
They don't care. And another thing they'll get too is they'll get manufacturer kickback. So for example, Chevy will say something like, hey, if you guys are able to sell 50 Silverados this month, we're going to give you $50,000 and we'll give you allotment. Allotment is every single month based on how many vehicles you sell. The manufacturer will say, okay, instead of getting 10 Silverados, you're going to get 15. And dealerships want that because you get more options, right? Now you get 2 black ones instead of 1 black one. Now you get 4 reds instead of 2 reds. So that's what the dealership is competing for. Outside of that, they don't give a fuck. And then the third and final way they make money is used cars, right? You take in a trade, you put new tires on, you do a tune-up, change the brake pads, you get it legal, and you mark it up whatever $1,000 to make it market value, and hopefully you got the car for under market value, and then you sell it, right? Well, that's simple business. You buy something cheap, you fix it up, but you don't fix it up too much where you go over market value, and then you make money off that. But they do not make money, and that's the same thing with PlayStation. They don't make the money on the console, or they didn't, right? They are now, after the first 6 months of sales or whatever, they make money on the console. But the way they make their money is off the hardware.
The big money though.
The PS Plus, the fucking all that bullshit is how they make their fucking money. And Xbox forgot about that. They forgot about that. There's nothing wrong with losing $200-$300 on your console because hopefully you're making that shit up with the software.
That's way too much.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, because like I've said since the jump, if they hopped in and willing to lose the money, they might as well have not made the S, just put the X out and sold the fucking X for $399, $299.
Yeah.
Sell that bit, because you already lose. You know you're gonna lose the money anyway.
Well, rumor is they're still losing money on the console. I don't know if that's true or not, but
yeah, they are.
But you got to think though, the Xbox came out before the PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you dropping it before the PlayStation, you got all this backing. You know you're gonna lose the money anyway. Drop the most powerful console that we've ever seen,
or that you can make
for $300. For $300, that's too cheap not to fucking buy it. If you a gamer, you buying that bitch regardless.
Well, that's what they did with the Series S, except that the Series S doesn't have no power.
That's what I'm saying. So don't even put the S out, bro. Don't even put that into the
Well, that was the first big mistake.
Well, the funny thing is when they announced the next Xbox, they announced the Xbox Series X, and then
Yep, that's true.
announced the S.
Well, what
But
Xbox was think
supposedly the X was the mid-gen upgrade. The basically their
Refresh.
Pro version. They released that at the start.
well,
But
Xbox in
even
their
that
mind,
information didn't even come out till after the fact, though.
no, it
That it
didn't.
was the mid gen.
Because somebody over there, I don't know who the fuck it was, but whoever it was needs to get fucking fired. And honestly, it was probably Phil's fucking punk ass.
That was through DF Digital
Digital
Foundry is the one that
Foundry.
But
so
their
they
fucking
told us about that.
their fucking idea is, oh hey guys, light bulb is how about we do a cheaper fucking Xbox that can still play the games, just not as good quality, and then we're gonna get all the subscriptions, then we're gonna get all this. But that just shows you that they don't know gaming and they don't know gamers. Gamers want to own their shit, no matter if it's digital or physical. They want their games. These ain't movies where you just watch once a year for 2 hours. No, these games are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 hours. When you play a game, you like it, you absolutely love it because you're part of the game. You're part of the story. You're controlling these characters. It's not a passive hobby. You are engaged. So that already makes you different than fucking movies. Secondly, the cost is ridiculous in this shit, right? Even for the smaller games, you're investing a shit ton of money. And if you divvy up, it's simple fucking math. 20, even if they charge $20 a month at the beginning of the fucking console generation, you knew you only sold fucking 50,000 or 50 million Xbox Ones. So even if you did the same exact numbers at $20 a piece and every single person got the fucking subscription, where are you at money wise when you know that the Halo you're making for the Series X is costing you upwards of 500 million on just the one game? It's like, are you guys not fucking? So then my question is, are they that ignorant or is it malicious? Was this done on purpose? Because there can't be no in between. It's no possible fucking way. You either
Well,
have to
they
be
thought they were gonna touch 2 billion gamers.
how when you only sold 50 million with the
I
Xbox
don't
One.
know. I don't know. They said the Xbox One was gonna sell fucking 200, 300 million too.
The
They don't
highest
live in this reality.
the highest selling
ignorance.
Xbox that they've ever had is the Xbox 360. And how many did that sell? 59 million?
80.
80 million? A couple million shy of the PS3? So it's
Well,
like
30 million of those were replacements though, so probably
Yeah.
about 50.
Yeah,
so
there's people that own like three
6
to
of those
four of
motherfuckers.
those. Yeah, 3 or 4 of those waiting for the red ring of death, and they're just moving all their shit to the next
I'd
one
say 55
and
to 65.
Yeah, but
repeating that process. They
I
got
had
two in the
three
house and they got
360.
one in the shop.
well, fuck Xbox. Well, let's move on. RPG's here. Let's talk about Death Stranding, man. Now, not spoiler alert, but heads up, Death Stranding, the first one. I don't like the game. It's a walking simulator. I just got my gun though. It's not a gun. It's like a taser kind of thingy
Mhm.
because you don't want to kill people. Otherwise, they fucking blow up into craters and shit and create these monster type oily looking things. But I got to that point. I love the music. I love the graphics. I love the actors. I love the story. It's super intriguing. I love the visuals. I think I said that already. There's a lot in that game that I like. It's very polished. It's very clean. It's very smooth. It's very artistic. But the gameplay just sucks.
Fire.
I
What
just don't
gameplay?
like it. Exactly. What gameplay?
Death Stranding.
But
That,
but I saw the trailer today, and this isn't the first time with Death Stranding 2 that I have thought this, because even from the first trailer, I thought this as well. I'm like, damn, I know I don't like this fucking game, but damn, this looks so fucking good. I wanna buy it and play it. And that is strong marketing on Kojima's part, where even people that don't like the fucking game, they're looking at this motherfucker and be like, damn, this shit looks fucking good, knowing damn well it's gonna be a fucking walking simulator. Well, I don't think so. I think it's gonna be different this time, right? Because they said that the packaging is now all automated. But we have a couple fans of Death Stranding in the house. We have RPG88. We have Nelson or Henry Heck. Um, before I get into what I thought about it, I'm gonna let you guys talk about it first. We'll start with you, RPG. What did you think about the trailer? What did you think about the information that we got today?
I didn't really see like the Kojima. Did he have an interview about it?
You didn't see the
I
trailer?
I saw the trailer,
How long was
right?
the trailer?
10 minutes,
Okay,
like
that's
10 minutes,
yeah.
14 seconds.
He had a panel. He had like an event.
Yeah, I didn't watch his interview, so I don't know any of the information about the game and what he had said about it or the questions he was asked. I've yet to watch
You
that.
don't speak Japanese anyways.
I literally seen the PlayStation trailer on YouTube. I went and watched that, and everything that I seen in the trailer looks phenomenal. As far as graphics, as far as story, like what the actual story is going to be, how it's going to shape up. It looks great. I'm really waiting for the end of June to get here. I believe it's June 26th is the release date. But everything on the game, I mean, the the cast alone is stupid as far as the talent that they got coming in there. They got Norman Reedus, they got uh Elle Fanning, they got
They have a
Troy
whole bunch, bro.
Baker.
They got an all-star
Yeah,
cast.
they got some big ass names in this game. So I'm really interested to see, like you were saying about all the deliveries were starting to be automated. Well, is that going to take the game into a different direction? Because obviously you're still trying to connect the world and you're trying to connect different pieces of the world, but is that going to remove, like me and Henry were talking earlier today about, oh, the shiny
While I
package
was
off
playing
in the
V Rising.
distance. Yeah.
Scissoring each
But
other.
we see that shiny package and we go and we pick it up and we are now, oh, well, we got to take this package just from where we just came from or off on, a completely different beaten path. That's what I'm wondering if they're going to keep that aspect into the game or if it's going to be more story focused as far as just unlocking and connecting the world. And that's something that we're going to have to see. And Kojima is not one to let you know what the game is and how the game's going to be until you get the game in your hands. And that's what he did with Death Stranding 1 is I can tell you this and that, but I'm not gonna spoil anything for you, and I think that's what he's doing with the second one.
What are you gonna say?
Nice.
Are you finished?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Henry, what about you?
Well, all I was gonna say is, I am looking forward to it, and it's got me eager to go ahead and finish the first one, which I played a decent amount. Like I said, like RPG was saying, was talking about it earlier, and I went up to like episode 5 or chapter 5, however they separate the sections, and the music production fire. The overall production value is fire. The whole shit.
Facts.
RPG, I played it as like a cozy game. You know what I mean? Because I get off work and hop in that joint and deliver the packages, and it's just a kind of, how you say, a mindless kind of thing to where you can just jump in and play, deliver some packages, even when you on like the main objectives. On your way, you'll see shit on the ground, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna pick this package up, and I gotta go back. I gotta backtrack to go deliver this where it needs to go and stuff. So you get caught up in the delivering aspect. So people will say it's a US UPS sim or whatever. That's
USPS.
I don't take points away from that, because like me and RPG was talking, like I play a game like Deep Rock Galactic, and it's a vibe to me, because even though I get off work, I go play this game, and I hop in the game and I'm actively doing work. Like you going in that bitch mine and you going off to do your shift in the game. It's still how you say, comforting, or whatever feeling you get from playing those type of games. You know the feeling you get. Like it's like
you don't have to overwork your brain.
Yeah, it's like a mindless kind of autopilot type of situation, and that's how I look at Death Stranding. Except the music is fucking excellent, and then of course I'm not too into the the cast, Norman Reedus is dope, and all the famous people who get in the games, all that's cool. Troy Baker, a billionaire, when it comes to voice acting. I'm not there for that. I'm more so into it for the, as corny as it may sound, the experience. You know what I'm saying? Because the environment is tight. It's a beautiful environment. Music is dope. Animation is clean. He take the Decima engine through its paces. I think he better with Decima engine than fucking Gorilla is at this point.
Oh, that one shot where he's overlooking the canyon right at the beginning of the trailer.
Well, that's not fair to say, because her Gorilla made a game for the PS4 and PS5. Kojima's making a PS5 game.
What I'm saying is,
M1 does more than deliver packages.
Exactly.
Listen, no. I get what you're
exactly.
saying.
I mean, best looking packages in video game history.
But what I'm saying is, the way, because we understand, like, it's certain individuals who got a certain level of genius in the way they do stuff. And if you take Kojima versus, who is the head of Gorilla right now?
I don't know. It used to be Herman.
It was Herman Hulst, but
I think it's a chick. I think it's a chick now. But if you take Kojima versus whoever the head of Gorilla right now, and you say, "Hey, Kojima, you make a game. Whoever that individual is, make a game." Kojima is gonna produce the higher quality experience than the individual. I'm confident enough to say that because Kojima been making games for how long? Even Will, we talked about this.
30 years.
Kojima he's gonna produce the higher quality, better game than whoever at Gorilla right
40.
now. This is what I'm saying, bro. So it's like, sure, you can do more in Horizon, and Horizon got all these different things, but Kojima get a game engine, he do what the fuck he want to do. He's
used to making his own too.
Yeah, he not chained down by, it's gotta be this. Kojima get an engine. You not telling him what to do. Especially at this point, he gonna do what the fuck he want to do. It's gonna be a high quality game. People gonna fucking purchase it and they gonna enjoy it. And people busting nuts. Let Kojima drop a trailer. This motherfucker's busting nuts right now watching them trailers because this is just the type of work he put forward. There's certain individuals in our lifetime that are genius level. Like a Kanye. I said, Kojima is the Kanye of gaming. The Kanye West of gaming. You know what I mean? So when Kojima drop a game, the earth stands still. Even though it may not sell 50,000 or 50 million or however many million, but when that motherfucker put a trailer out, go look at the fucking Death Stranding trailer. Go look at Death Stranding 2 trailer and compare it against the fucking game that you looking forward to. Ain't no game gonna have more views except for like a Grand Theft Auto. You know what I'm saying? So this motherfucker know what he doing, and I fuck with it. I'm buying this bitch. They goddamn one. I'm buying that bitch, bro. Day one.
Yeah, I'm buying it as well. Nelson, what about you? What do you think about the trailer? What do you think about what we saw today?
Didn't watch it. Just got home.
Okay.
This motherfucker.
Well, I watched it.
I had time to watch it. I've been at work all day.
Man,
I found out about it right before this started.
Not all day. You started at 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning.
Okay, it wasn't out yet. I got home at 6. I made dinner. I started laundry. I got on here.
16 hours in the future. So you could have watched it. Anyways, I'm messing with Nelson here. But so as you guys heard from me in the beginning, I'm not a fan of Death Stranding. I'm just not. It's not really for me. But I saw the trailer and there's so much good in there. And we do this all the time, right? With games. They have banger music. They have banger story. The graphics may not be that good, or the art style may not be that good. That doesn't mean the game completely sucks, right? And that's where I'm at with Death Stranding. There's so much good there that just because I may not enjoy the gameplay quite as much doesn't mean that the game is going to be completely trash. And I don't have to play 10 out of 10 games every single time. Now, the game may be a 10 out of 10 for maybe somebody like RPG or maybe Henry. Once it comes out, we'll play it, right? We'll see. But
yeah.
What we saw today, a 10-minute trailer, and one thing I will say about Kojima is he knows how to make a fucking trailer. I went back
Yep.
earlier after I saw the Death Stranding 2 trailer, and I looked back at the trailers for Death Stranding 1, for basically all the Metal Gear Solid games, even the ones back in the PS1 era, and they're all fucking bangers. So this dude knows how to fucking make a trailer, how to sell a game. And that's exactly what he did today. He sold me the game. Because even though I saw the first trailer when it got announced, or the first couple trailers, and all the information that we've gotten, I knew I was going to buy Death Stranding 2. I just didn't think it would be day one or any time relatively soon, right? I just thought, oh, I'll get it when eventually, whatever. PS Plus, it goes on sale 6 months down the road. I'll get it.
Yeah.
It'll just be eventually. But after seeing what I saw today, man, it really got me hyped because it not only looked good, but it also took me back to a time that it felt like we saw games like this all the time. And what I mean by this is it's not the creative genius of Kojima, right? Because this game looks trippy. It has shit I've never seen before, designs that I've never seen before. But what I mean by that is the music slapped. The visuals were banging. The story had me intrigued just through the trailer. Even the last little fucking bit where the dude looked like Solid Snake, you know what I'm saying, with the headband on. Like we know
Yep.
what he was doing there, right? Like shit like that. Like I really love the attention to detail that this man has with his games. Now, me and Nelson get into this argument all the time, which is going to be actually our next topic when we talk about Split Fiction and Hazelight Studios. Well, because Hazelight Studios has been dropping a game just about every 3 years. But when Nelson says, these games are so big and it takes such a long time, big budgets and all that, I understand that, right? I'm not ignorant to the fact that these games are huge and all that. But how many games that we've gotten in the last, let's just say this generation, have had the same appeal as Death Stranding 2? Where the music is slapping, the story's phenomenal, the graphics are crazy. We're seeing some crazy designs that we never seen before. We have some top tier fucking actors in here, right? How many of those games have we seen? And that is my argument. It's like, okay, if you're gonna take 6-7 years to make a game, do it, but don't have it coming out like fucking Halo. Don't have it coming out like fucking Forza. You know what I'm saying? Make it come out like fucking Death Stranding 2. And that's my biggest fucking argument with the length of time that these studios take to make these fucking games. It's not that they're taking the time per se. Yes, that bothers me a little bit. But at the end of the light, at the end of the tunnel, we're getting a banger. But what we're seeing here is these studios are taking 6-7 years, 8 years to make mediocre shit. And that's my fucking problem with the length of time. Where on the other side, you have places like Hazelight Studios, CD Projekt Red, who are dropping a game every fucking 3, 4, 5 years. Sucker Punch, all these studios, and their shit slaps. And that's my whole argument with that. Now we did get we got a release date today, which is June 26th. We also got the games and the different editions. We have a digital and physical base model, which will be $69.99. We also have here. I took a screenshot. Let me pull it up.
That disc art though on the case, that is fire.
Now, did I take a screenshot of this shit? Right here. So we have a standard for physical and digital, which is $69.99. We also have a collector's edition for physical, which they shouldn't because it doesn't even have a disc, so it should be considered a digital collector's edition for $229.99. And then they also have for digital, they have a digital deluxe edition, which is $79.99. So basically 70, 80, $10 more, right? Yeah, $10 more. So digital, you have two options: standard edition, which is $70, and then digital deluxe edition, which is $80. And then for the physical, you have the standard edition, $70, and then the collector's edition, which is $220. Both the collector's edition and the digital deluxe edition, you get 2-day early access, so you'll be able to play the game June 24th instead of June 26th. So okay, cool. Then the collector's edition, which I also have a screenshot here. Let me pull it up.
Oh, that looks cool. That's I'm looking at it right now on my side.
The collector's edition to me feels a little light for the money, just a tad bit light for the money. They're asking top tier money on this side, and by top tier I mean like top tier on the normal fucking. Because some of these other, well, not a lot of them, but like Elden Ring did a fucking 300 and or I forget, it was like 350 or $400 for a DLC fucking collector's edition, which I thought was fucking crazy. But that statue that came with it was pretty badass. But still, I think it was too overpriced. Um,
Yeah, that's a hefty price. What did you say? 220 for that collector's?
yeah, but so with the Death Stranding Collector's Edition, that price is right in line with PlayStation's Collector's Editions. They range anywhere between 2 to 250, 230 is usually the more common price point. But what this comes with is basically, and the reason I say it's light is because you get a 3-inch Dollman figurine, you get the collector box, which is the box the shit comes in. You get a letter from Kojima. You get art cards and a 15-inch Magellan Man statue, which is the coolest thing on here. At first, I thought you got the statue and the gun, well, which is called the machine gun, but that's just a DLC thing that you get. Um, so I think it's a little light. Some of my physical games that I bought that are indies that you buy for $29.99, for example, um, Doki Doki Literature Club. That game is $29.99, and you got art cards, you have a keychain, and you have a book for $30. With Kojima, you're getting a 3-inch Dollman figurine, looks like a keychain or something you could put on a necklace, which 1-to-1 comparison, okay, that's in Doki Doki Literature Club. You get the art cards, which is in Doki Doki Literature Club. And you also get a letter from Kojima, which is not. And we'll replace that with the art book that does come in Doki Doki Literature Club. So when you're comparing an indie title for $30 to a $230 collector's edition, the only thing you're really getting here that's additional is the fucking 15-inch Magellan Man statue. Otherwise, everything else is 1-to-1 with what indie publishers are putting out for their fucking $30 games. So that's why I think it's a little light. The statue does look badass, and the kicker of this all is that there is no physical disc. So you get no disc, you get a code, and you get some DLC items as well, which these DLC items are you get or no, this is pre-order. Pre-order, if you pre-order the game, you get the battle boost Boca skeletons levels 1, 2, and 3. Looks like maybe some skeleton freaking like additions that give you some sort of extra freaking power or something. You get a custom hologram of Kuoka. And then for in-game items, you get a machine gun, you get a patch, and then you get more battle skeletons, which we'll see what those are in the game, and you get a Why Me patch. So pretty cool. And all this stuff becomes available for pre-order March 17th. You guys have anything to say about the collector's edition or pre-order dates, or are you guys? Oh, one question I need to ask you guys: does this surprise you that date is so soon?
No.
Oh no, it don't surprise
That's
me.
how PlayStation be rolling these days.
Yeah, it don't
Hold
surprise me
the
at all.
fuck up! What did you just say, Nelson?
Huh?
What did you just say?
You already
Get 'em.
heard me.
Get
That's
'em.
what?
That's how PlayStation be rolling these days.
Wasn't one of you guys just talking last week about how a year out and that's normal or something like that?
Hmm?
I wasn't on last week, so it wasn't me.
You
It
were on
might
last
have.
week because we had Tornado
What's
on
the?
last week, and you didn't play half the PlayStation first party games because you were playing COD.
Yeah.
Wow.
It does surprise me because I think somebody here as well said this game might even get pushed to 2026. I can't remember who said it
Was
specifically,
me.
but I have heard these
I said
conversations as
May.
well.
I was close.
So yeah, this date does surprise me. It surprises me that it's not a holiday game. It surprises me that it got announced just 3 months before. This isn't a platformer, right? Like where you invest 20, 30 million in. I'm sure he's invested way more to make this game. So the date does
Hell yeah, he
surprise me
has.
a little bit. It's not like I'm shocked, but it does surprise me just a tad bit. I think it's a good date, in the middle of summer. We don't have anything basically out past, between May
Something
and
had to come out in
August.
June because springs or fall's right around the corner and GTA's coming. We got a lot of games to fit in between June and fucking September.
Well, all those games already fit in between January and fucking June.
So my
And
question I
it's not
have,
it's not to say that I expected. It's not to say that I expected the game to drop soon, because I didn't. But at the same time, when they dropped the date of June, I wasn't surprised. Like, okay, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You know what I mean? I don't want to put it out there that like I anticipated it dropping at this time, because I didn't. But when the date dropped, I wasn't surprised with it. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. It's like you're not anticipating it, but when it's said, it's like, oh, okay, I got it. You know.
so my question for Will is, with you're going to buy Death Stranding 2 day one, does that drive you to complete and finish Death Stranding 1?
No,
No.
not one bit. I mean, I'm not want to say not one bit because there is a little part of me, but not enough to just drop what I'm doing to play it. Now, if now that Killing Floor is getting delayed, I might pick it up. But I have like 2, 3 other games that I want to play, and if I don't get to Death Stranding 2 or Death Stranding 1 before Death Stranding 2 comes out, I won't play it. I'll just play Death Stranding 2. Seems like the better game, anyways. But no interest. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all. The only time I pop in Death Stranding 1 is so I can hear that intro song in the beginning of the game.
Fire.
Honestly, that's the best thing about that fucking game is the music. But no interest. The gameplay is just too fucking slow, man. I mean, I gotta walk a lot. I gotta like deliver packages. The UI is confusing to me. Like I like, should I take this? Should I take that? But then shit's built by other people, so I don't fucking need it. Just follow their tracks. It's like, I don't know. It's a lot of redundancy in that
I had
game.
to run from one of those goddamn things and lost my motorcycle. I was like, yeah, I'm not looking for that motherfucker like 60 miles
But that's
back.
the
I
thing,
ain't
like,
doing that.
the further you get in the game, the better equipped you are to make your runs easier and quicker.
So
Yeah, that's what me and
It's-
RPG was talking about earlier, because
You're
since
not
I
just
played
stuck with, dragging your balls all across the U.S. You're slowly upgrading and you're becoming better and more efficient with better gear.
no,
So
and I
it's
know
all
that
about-
because
it's
even
all
where
about
I'm at
growing,
now,
because you don't increase your level like in most games. Like, oh well, I was started off as a level 0, now I'm a level 14. No, you're gaining better gear.
well, I know that because I got a gun. Now I got a gun. But still, the progress is just way too fucking slow. And even on top of just the gameplay stuff, like I mentioned, how do I take, do I need 2 pairs of boots on me? Ladders? Like, I don't want to fucking spend so much time mix maxing. You know what I'm saying?
The boots on you.
Like, I don't want to spend all this time mix maxing on a fucking game. Like, that's just, like, it's not interesting to the point where I do want to do these things. Now, speaking of what RPG just said, because I just made a YouTube short about this yesterday, and I found the unicorn, guys. You know how we always hear that, hey, you just got to get past the first chapter in a game. You just got to get past the first 2 hours of a game, and then it picks up and
Death
it gets
Stranding,
better.
you just gotta get past the first 30 hours.
30 hours.
That's the trick.
I actually found a game that literally you get past the first 30 minutes and it opens right up, and that's Terminator Alliance or Terminator Terminator Salvation. I dropped the game like 2 years ago because the first 30 minutes is you sneaking around, getting away from the Terminators, and I'm like, fuck this. And somebody said, no, bro, you got to get past the 30, 45-minute mark, and then the game picks up. Right when I turned it on, I had left the game right at the cutscene, that after the cutscene, the game fucking picks up. So I found the unicorn. Otherwise, I'm just not listening to that bullshit anymore of you got to get past this certain point mark, none of that. I just don't. There's way too many games out here to be that patient. Now, if there was something extraordinary in the game that makes me want to wait, then okay, cool, we'll figure it out. But there's just nothing really there for Death Stranding 1. There just isn't. But hey, that's just me. It's different for everybody, right? Anything else you guys want to say about Death Stranding?
Shout out to Kojima. I'm glad we finally we finally get our mitts on it, and I'm ready to see what that intro music for this is gonna be.
Well, you did you hear the music in the trailer? That shit was fire.
No, I didn't watch it. I didn't
Oh,
watch it at
bro,
all.
yeah, you gotta watch it.
Cause,
That
cause, cause
fucking
while me and RPG was scissoring, I got the news that the trailer had dropped and we was playing V Rising, and I didn't go off to watch it. But I'm looking forward to it, man. I assume that since in the director's cut he made a what yeah he obviously he made a decision to make it more actiony. So
yeah.
I'm feeling like the Death Stranding 2 is gonna be more actiony, you know, just to get more people on board and get people in the game, and you know it'd be a dope conclusion to the series of Death Stranding because Norman Reedus getting fucking old, so he can't keep putting him in fucking new games.
Yeah, I don't
And
think Kojima has much time left making games. I think he's at the end here.
yeah,
He's
Coach,
probably getting toward the end of making games. He's more wanting to focus
yeah,
on
Well,
making
H2, I mean,
movies
the
and
dude's 60
shows.
years old, you know what I mean? He don't
He's been
have that
making
much time
games
on
since
this
the
earth.
fucking mid '80s.
Yeah,
He's
he
wanting to
don't
yeah.
turn his
So
attention
he
to
He's
probably
his
gonna
own.
put
Hollywood.
out. He could probably gonna do like short film and that type of
Hmm.
stuff, and that's what we're gonna get, which is cool because he's earned it. And so in his retirement, if he's putting out short films, I'll check them bitches out. But it's people like Neil Cuckman. Like you ain't earned your sit down yet, bro. Like you still gotta produce some hits. Kojima has produced hits. You know, people salivating at the mouth for the new
Neil
Metal Gear
Cuckman.
game. Yeah, yeah,
But we're
fuck
gonna talk
Cuckman.
about Neo next. We're gonna talk about him next because I got a comparison for Neo and Kojima. But yeah, I don't think Kojima has
A
just that much time.
comparison.
Yeah, I don't think that Kojima just has that much time. I mean, he's 60 years old. You know, these games are taking. How long does Stranding 2 take? Fucking 6 years, 7 years. You know, so by the time he does
Six.
another game, he'll be 66, 67 years old. It's like, he's gonna
Yeah,
want to
he's still
retire
got
at some
OD
point.
and
He
Pheasant.
might ride off after Phil sent.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's unfortunate, right? Because these dudes, they're geniuses. We want them to make games, but it's the same argument that I have when games take forever. Like I'm 37 years old now. We're getting
Yeah.
GTA 6. So by the time GTA 7 comes out, I'm gonna be how old? What, 50? Hey, Mr. David Falky in the house. How you doing, David? I, I am good. We have RPG here. We have Henry here, and we also have Nelson here. Guys, say hi to David.
Hi, David. I didn't know he was
David,
joining today. Should have said
the
something.
fault monster in the building.
We're good,
Pretty
man.
good.
Sumptuous.
I told Nelson earlier that I left you the door open. You can hop in whenever you like, whether it's today or any other Sunday. We appreciate you and your knowledge. And I'm glad you came in at this time because we were just talking about Death Stranding. Did you see the trailer or the information? Oh, you haven't. Are you a Death Stranding 1 fan? You haven't played the first Death
Um,
Stranding? Yeah, same here. Yeah, we have the panel is split right now. Me and Nelson don't like Death Stranding 1. But I am looking forward to Death Stranding 2. I think it looks better, more action. Henry and RPG do like it. They really like but we all like Kojima, of course. Um, all right, well, perfect timing since you didn't watch. It was either you saw it and we can talk about it, or we're gonna actually move on to the next topic, which is the quote by Neil Druckmann. So they asked him about The Last of Us 3, and something along the lines of they don't know. He doesn't know if The Last of Us or when The Last of Us 3 is going to happen or if it even will happen. And I joked on the Discord that knowing how Hollywood Neil is trying to go, that the third game is going to be an adaptation of season 3 of the TV show instead of being the other way around, where they make season 3 an adaptation of the third game. So we'll start with you, David. Actually, before we start with that talk, chat, this is David Faulkner. You guys have seen him in numerous other podcasts before. I know him from the Thrifty podcast. David, what games have you been playing recently, bro?
mm,
Yep. Yeah, that'll be next year. Uh, yeah, yeah, right. I actually like the Plucky Squire. I think I'm like halfway done with it, but I got stuck in a part, and instead of just Googling how to get past it, I just put the game down. But I'm buying the physical copy of it because I'm a physical game collector, and so I'm just like, you know what? I'll just buy a physical copy of it and then pick it up from there. Well, I'm glad that you're playing Last of Us Part Two. Is this your first time playing this one? Oh, it is. Wow. Are you towards the middle, beginning, end? Where you at? Okay. A- And you're playing as Ellie? Okay. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. That's when you're chasing his brother, what's his name? Bobby? No, not Bobby.
Tom,
Tom,
Tommy,
Tom, Tommy. Yes.
Oh, are
Okay.
you talking about that one boss that is in the bottom of that building with the bloater? I don't want to give out the name of
the
the
Rat
that
King.
boss. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
yeah. I
oh,
think that's where he's at. You're about to get that. Well, so we'll keep the spoilers light, but The Last of Us Part 2 came out in 2020 after what, how many years? About 12 years from The Last of Us 1,
7,
originally 7, was it? It came out what, 2012? Never mind.
2013 for
For
The
2013.
some
Last of
reason
Us
I had
1.
'09 in my mind. Well, anyways, so we
You're
know
thinking of
that
Uncharted 2, I think.
yeah, yeah, I am. So we know that after The Last of Us Part 1, they ported the game over to the PlayStation 4, and Neil kind of took a step back from Uncharted, or I'm sorry, Last of Us Part 2 production so he can help out on Uncharted 4 since what's her name had left. And to this day, I give credit, right? Because Neil has become kind of a controversial figure. The first game is a masterpiece. I think we all consider it to be a masterpiece, one of the best games ever from PlayStation. One of the changes that Neil did in Uncharted 4, for those of you guys that don't know, Uncharted 4, you have, what is the main character's name? Holy crap, I'm blanking out. Drake. Sam Drake and
Nathan
his
Drake.
brother, or Nathan Drake and Sam Drake. And the original idea of the game with, what's her name? Amy Hemming? Was that who was in charge? No, no, that was Halo. Henning. She had left during, yeah, Henning. She was in charge of producing the game, and she had left, and Neil kind of took over. And one of the biggest changes he did was Uncharted 4 was supposed to be a brother against brother type of game, where Nathan Drake was basically chasing down his brother. What Neil did is, I appreciate he did that, is he converted it into like a brotherly love kind of thing, and what we got at the end of Uncharted 4, which I prefer way better. I'm kind of a little bit sick and tired of seeing, brother against brother, friend against friend, like let's do something different. So I appreciate that. So to this day, and I just had this discussion with Hero Down Under, I said we can only credit um we can only credit him with one and a half masterpieces. One is The Last of Us Part 1, and two is the half of his input with Uncharted 4. Now we'll start with you, Falky. What do you think of Neil Druckmann? Do you think he's the genius people are saying he is? Do you think that he's a one-hit wonder? Like, what's your opinion about him? What's your opinion about The Last of Us Part 3? Do you think it ever will come out, or do you think Neil just went straight Hollywood? Yeah. See, let's pass the question on to RPG. RPG, do you think do you think do you agree with Falky? Do you think that Last of Us Part 3 is kind of like, on a shelf somewhere till they feel like they need a hit in their hands and then they'll push it back out to make the money or put the prestige back up? Do you think Neil is too Hollywood? Do you think he's a genius? What do you think about Neil and The Last of Us Part 3?
I with Neil alone, I think he is a very creative genius as far as the way that he told the story. And he told the story that not everybody wanted to hear, or to read, to experience. He just gave what he wanted to give as far as how he wanted the story to go and how he thought as much conversation that was going to happen in the story, how we all thought it was possibly going to go in TLOU 2, given our experience in TLOU 1, he completely flipped the lid and basically, started the whole game off, the whole second game off, just killing Joel. Like, yeah, that's we're gonna give you that gut punch, 2 hours into the game, and this is not gonna be a father-daughter uh, slow build throughout the story of TLOU 1, and they're all gonna love each other, and it's gonna be a happy ending. Like, no, this second game is all about revenge and about loss. So I think he is very genius in his creative abilities. As far as TLOU 3 and it being on the shelf right now with it not happening, or it's not concrete that it's happening, or it's not concrete that it's canceled, if they do not want to make the game, or they do not have the drive to make the game, I am completely fine with them leaving it on the shelf. As much as I want TLOU 3 to continue the story and see where the story goes, I do not want a half-assed game. I do not want a half-assed story. I want another story to have more to talk about. Maybe answer a little bit of that unanswered question that we had in TLOU 2 as far as who's right, who's wrong, what was this story about versus what I think this story was about. I want that conversation to continue in Last of Us 3. But if you don't have the people that have the passion to drive that story and keep going, then don't bother, because if you don't have the passion, you're going to end up with something like Halo Infinite and that story. And that's just, we all like, there's a lot of us here that were old Xbox people that we love the original Halo genre. And then we got to Halo Infinite, and you can tell that that passion, that drive, was just not in there. And that goes further past the graphics and the missing features and the missing modes. The passion just wasn't in there. So that's why that game failed, and I don't want to see that happen with TLOU 3. So if they're not going to have that drive, just leave it alone. And if they decide to continue to tell the story in story format on TV, and that's what they choose to do, then that's what they choose to do. And whether or not it goes good or not, that's completely up to them. But really, I would really like to see another game, but I'm not counting on another game happening for quite a while. Like David said, we're gonna have to see how Intergalactic pans out. If Intergalactic comes out and it's just dog shit, then you can probably bet that TLOU 3 is gonna be on a speedy process to get started.
Okay. So before I pass it back to Henry, because me and Henry feel about Neil in a lot of similar ways, and I think Nelson does as well. And I wanna not combat what you said, RPG, but I want to give a different point of view, because creating a banger like The Last of Us Part 1 it's not an accident. You have to have what somebody like Neil has in order to create something like that. Yes, there is such a thing as one hit wonders. I understand that. But Neil, I don't think is a one hit wonder. I think he has a ton of potential. I agree with a lot of what Falky said. He's great at creating a team around him. My issue with Neil personally is his disregard for the business, his disregard for the gamer. And what I mean by that is the whole Joel situation. You're past that, right, Falky, with the Joel? So it's no spoiler? Okay. Okay, good. Something, because we see these conversations online all about the game's about revenge. There's so many emotions. You're just so shallow. You don't understand it. No, that's not it at all. You don't have to be level, IQ 200 to understand the game, right? But there is certain parts of the game that you can interpret yourself. My issue with The Last of Us Part 2, besides the pacing, besides the 1 hour fetch quest that you do in the hospital, not this portion of the hospital, Falky, a little bit later on, is Joel. And I am not upset that Joel died. I'm actually kind of glad that Joel died. I think that Joel dying was important for the game, for Joel to happen. The thing that frustrated me about Joel's death is one, who killed them, why they killed them, and how they killed them. And by the how is how Joe just says, I'm Joe, this is my brother Tommy, just giving all the information out there like Joe just hasn't been living in the apocalypse for the last 20, 30 years. Which in the first game, we knew he didn't make those type of mistakes. Now people can say, well, he got softened up while living in the camp with his brother and his brother's wife, and the safety and comfort. Sure, but look, I'm a Iraq War veteran. Nelson is an Iraq War veteran. Nelson and I have been out, what, Nelson, 15 years now going on? 10, 15 years? Something like that?
Yeah, 15, going on 15.
There's just certain things that stick to your DNA. And mind you, me and Nelson weren't in the military for 20 years. We didn't retire out of there. We did our 4 or 5 years and we were out. And even though we only did those 4 or 5 years, there's still things that we do that will stick with us for the rest of our lives. And that's just 4 years that we did. Now imagine living in the apocalypse for 20 years. That's just not something you forget. Now, sure, we can say, well, Neil just doesn't have that type of experience. That's bullshit. If you've been brushing your teeth a certain type of way for the last 30 years, more than likely you're going to continue brushing your teeth that way till the day you die, right? And then the way that who killed them? Abby, right? Why did Abby kill them? Because Joel killed some no-name doctor that we knew nothing about, happened to be his daughter. Okay, that's feasible, right? Because anybody kills my dad, I'm gonna try to look for revenge too. Doesn't matter if I was, the NPC in the corner that got killed on an accident. I'm gonna try to look for Joel. But this is a video game, and all this shit is done for, emotional value, surprise value, all that stuff. He could have dug a little bit deeper there than just that. There is so much stuff he could have pulled out of Tess. I mean, there's just so much. And then the other thing that I really don't like is when I say his disregard for the gamer, is how he says, I know that half the gamers are not going to like this. So then why fucking do it? And look, you're not going to please everybody. I understand that. But to me, what it felt like is you're intentionally doing something to piss off half the gamers. And whether it's right or wrong, or whether the story justifies it, or whether the gameplay justifies it, to me, it felt like that was irrelevant. And it was more of, I want to do this for shock value. And those are some of the issues. Now, the reason I cannot call Neil genius or anything like that is because we haven't seen much more from him. We saw The Last of Us 2, Last of Us 1, and some in Uncharted. So even if I gave the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, Last of Us Part 2 was a great game, which I don't think it is. Mechanically wise, gameplay wise, visual wise, all those things are awesome and phenomenal and one of the best of the gen. Story is lacking in my opinion. But let's just say for a benefit of the doubt that we consider that to be a banger as well. That's still only 2 games in the last 15 years. So I don't think he's at that level yet. He has to come out with way more. And I don't consider Corey to be a genius either. Oh, extremely difficult. And look, I'm not saying these guys are piss poor at what they do. No, they're elite. They're elite at what they do. You know what I mean? Naughty Dog is elite. Corey is elite because we have directors all the time that are on their first project, second project, third project, whatever, and they're still not producing what Corey has done and what Neil has done. But let me pass it back to Henry. Henry, what do you think
You're
of Neil, right? What do you think of The Last of Us Part 3? Do you think it's going to happen or not? And do you think Neil is the genius people say he is?
absolutely not. I don't, because the storyline he put together, you can hop on Netflix, you can hop on Hulu, and just as many people are creating storylines of that same value. Or you know, you can, like I said, you can hop on Hulu right now and
That's
find
not a
12 shows.
compliment when you're using streaming services.
But I'm just saying, you can hop on those shows and find something that in the same vein of what he created. You know, so I don't view him as he's just the reason he stand alone in what they're doing is because he's in gaming. But that's what he's doing is not out of the norm. You know what I mean? It's not special. It's not extra. You know, as far as will we get a Last of Us 3, we absolutely will. Just off the strength of Sony PlayStation is not gonna let their IP just die just because he don't feel like doing it. They'll just get somebody else to do it. You know, they just wasted tons of time, tons of money on Factions 2. So they want their money, and people can say, oh, well, they made their money back. So, sure, they made their money back, but they could have made that money back plus what they would have made on putting that game out. So, Last of Us 3 is 1000% happening, whether he want to make it or not. And it's easy to get somebody else to fill that position because that level of creativity is not rare. Like I said, you can hop in Hulu, find a director. You can hop in Netflix, find a director. You can hop in multiple other avenues, find people who can do something just as good. Just as good. It don't gotta be spectacular or groundbreaking. It just has to be just as good. And that level of creativity ain't rare. You know, he like you said, he done what, 2 games in 15 years. It's the he's not of the level of genius as a Kojima. He's not of and even you brought up Corey Balrog. Corey Balrog did what he did based off something that somebody else created. He
Already,
didn't make
man.
that up.
Well,
Yeah,
you
he
know,
didn't
he
make.
did remix it and remake it into something, you know, of its own and special. But yeah, the
Sure,
idea was still
sure.
there.
And it's not, and that's not rare. You
Yeah.
know, it's easy to pick up what somebody. It's actually easier to build off something that somebody else done than to come up with something completely original. It's easier to do that, you know, because we see this all the time inside comic books, right? They won't create a new character. They'll take an old character and race swap it. They'll take an old character and make it a woman. They'll take an old character and make it a different sexual orientation, and because it's hard to make a new character and have it resonate with the
Stand on his
consumer or
own.
whatever. Yeah, exactly. So like, nah, I do not at all feel as though Neil is something god tier creator that can't be replicated. Like no, absolutely not. You know, is the game good? Cool. Yeah. Is the game mechanics inside Last of Us 2 awesome? Sure, but he didn't do the mechanics. So you know what I mean. So it's people who can come in, set a storyline, and then the people who actually make the game play and put that together can come in and do it and make it a fun game. And they do a spinoff. It's that universe can be it's so much in that universe that can be like done and made use of outside of the Ellie Abby situation, you know, because in a situation like that, ain't no way that Ellie is the only person who is immune. If they wanted to go that route, ain't no way on Earth that she would be the only one immune out of all the humans on Earth when this situation took off. You know what I mean?
Getting
So
attacked while being birthed, and you know that's part of the reason.
yeah,
You know, getting the
yeah.
mom's
So
immunity.
yeah, so it wouldn't be a rare situation.
Well,
I mean, it
Henry,
would
let
be,
me
but
ask you this. I'm just gonna throw this saying out there, and you let me know if you agree with it or not. Neil Druckmann is not a genius. He is above average, but he will inspire the next genius.
No, I don't
Ooh,
agree.
interesting. Hit me back with that
I
one
don't.
before we pass it back to Nelson.
Yeah, I absolutely don't agree because it's not even about you being a genius and it's because all right, let me ask you this. Do you think all right, what's your favorite who do you think the best basketball player in the world right now?
I don't watch basketball, but Michael Jordan always.
All right, Michael Jordan. Do you believe that Michael Jordan was the best basketball player on earth?
Yes.
Even though so you don't believe there's somebody who could have been better than him that just wasn't found out that people just didn't know about?
No, because part of being the best is being able to demonstrate you're the best too. Because there's a lot of people that are, the best piano players, the best whatever, but they just never got the. It's not always who's the best, it's who can get out there and show that they got skill, but it's all part of the package. Like you're no good if you're the best artist in the world and nobody's seen your art. But if you're like, let's
Well,
say in 1 to 10, 10 is being the
Or
best in
if
the
you could have
world,
been the best artist, but you never painted.
but you never
You know what I
painted.
mean?
Yeah. So yeah, I put it in
no,
that
but what my,
category.
my what my thing is, why I look at it is this right. Sure, you the best person that we know about, but it's somebody off in the middle of India who skill wise is better, but just didn't get the same opportunity to produce in front of the world to be able to where everybody get to see it. So that's why I'm thinking about like, do I think Neil's gonna inspire? No, I don't. I think it's people who are way more creative. I think it's people who could like write and put together a story way better that, just don't got the opportunity. But if you give them the opportunity, they could produce it. But would they necessarily be inspired by Neil? No. They was gonna be there anyway. Even if Neil didn't produce Last of Us 2 or whatever game he produced, they was gonna be there regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like take Exhibition 33. Those people who put that story together, they was gonna be great regardless. They didn't need a Neil Druckmann. They didn't need a Cora Balrog. They didn't need a David Jaffe or whomever.
Yeah,
They
but
was
they
gonna be
needed
there.
a Nintendo guy. They needed there's always inspiration in something. So I mean, if video games didn't exist,
I don't think that. I don't think so. I'm gonna have to disagree because people who gonna be great. They don't need nobody to do it first.
that's true.
Sure, somebody gonna do it first. But even if they didn't do it first, then this person over here was gonna be the first. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So it
I give
don't
you that.
it don't it don't necessarily mean that they needed somebody to pave the way. If nobody came forth to pave the way, they would have just paved the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what this kind of where I'm coming from, and not the shit. And again, I'm not shitting on Neil. The game is good. People bought the game. He make millions of dollars. He drive Ferraris, all this other stupid shit. I'm not shitting on him for that, but I'm just saying that I don't believe that he and this is my opinion. Y'all feel how y'all want to feel. I don't believe that he is of the upper echelon of creators inside a game, and just because he produced 2 games,
Yeah, I don't think
that's
so
just where
either.
I'm coming from.
Nelson, what about you? Before we move on, what do you think about Neil? Do you think The Last of Us 3 is
No,
coming?
I think being at Naughty Dog with the creators there, like you could insert the biggest fucking turd fucking story and you come up with something pretty decent.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Proof. He
Simple.
does.
Simple. I kind of agree with that too. I mean, if you have a pretty good team already and you just add the one more person, that is going to make them better because of the people around you. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that as well.
You
Anybody
can
else want to
you
say?
can some teams can just turn a turd into something to smell a fragrance, good fragrance.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything to say about Neil or The Last of Us? No. Let's move on to hold up here because I'm trying to figure out because I really want to talk about Hazel Light Studio and Split Fiction, not because of the game itself, which I do want to get into that a little bit because the game is fucking phenomenal. But let's get into Split Fiction real quick. Split Fiction is made by Hazel Light Studio. Has anybody here played Split Fiction besides RPG? Me and him beat it this weekend.
Fuck Split Fiction.
Nelson, Nelson hasn't played it, and
I
Falky,
bought it, but I haven't played it yet because I haven't had nobody to play with. I didn't see my kids hardly at all this weekend or nothing.
well, we'll get to it when you have time. Falky, did you play it? Not yet. Hey, let me know and then I'll play it. I love the game; it's phenomenal. Let's do this. Let's RPG. Let's tell them real quick the game, how we liked it. Let's just take a couple minutes for that, and then we'll talk about the main topic, which is split Hazel Light's production, the quality of games they've been producing, and is this something that's replicable in the video game industry? And the reason I want to bring that up is because we just talked about Neil, how long some of these games take, and my biggest, and also Death Stranding 2, how Kojima took 6 years with Death Stranding 2, but what we saw is something incredible. So let's go ahead and go ahead, RPG. Tell the chat real quick and the panel, you know, in a couple minutes, what you thought about Split Fiction, how it's unique, a couple good points.
Uh, I mean, for your $50 that the game cost, you're getting a lot of game. Maybe not a 30 or a 60-hour game, but you're getting a lot of game crammed into maybe that 15-hour playthrough. There is very easy moments in the game, as far as working with your other partner, whether it be Will or whether it be your girlfriend or whoever you're playing the game with. There are very easy parts, but there are just very challenging parts. There, I believe it was our day 2, and we were playing some game show area level, and I was getting pretty aggravated and frustrated with. But all in all, the game is very set. To me, I think it is a must play no matter what system that you decide to play it on, whether it's PC, whether it's Xbox or PlayStation. It is definitely a must play. It is the first Haze-like game that I completed. I did play It Takes Two, but I do not believe I completed that story. I think we got close, but not quite there. Um, it is a mind trip. And the mind trip comes a little bit later in the game, and with how the levels work out and how the mechanics work out. Like, there was a couple times where I reached over and I touched the side of my PlayStation just to make sure that the dang thing wasn't overheating, because there is a lot of CPU demand going on with everything that they're doing inside the game. And when you play it, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but if you've watched the stream, you'll see it. But there's a lot of stuff, and the best that I could say is like the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart experience, and that Spider-Man 2 Portal experience is the best way that I can explain of what's going on. And there's not true callbacks, but there's kind of like Easter egg hints to older games, the games that we've all played and we've all experienced. So it is. I absolutely loved my entire time through it, even though that there was frustrating parts. But it is definitely a game that I'm going to play through for a second time, maybe even a third time, depending on whoever wants to play it and experience going through it their first or their second time.
Well, RPG, let's make it clear. What do you mean by frustrating parts? Do you mean like the puzzles are frustrating, or there's some problems with the game, or what? What do you mean by that?
There's absolutely no problems with the game as far as how it runs, how it functions. We had maybe 1 or 2 hiccups where we had
just one that I could think of. Just one.
So I mean, it runs great. It doesn't have any pop in or bugs or anything like that. But they're like the puzzles, like as far as like you have to rely on your other. So if one screws up, which I'm the one that mainly screwed up a lot throughout the game,
Yeah, I'm a beast.
80%
no, I screwed up too.
It was falling on me because either I wasn't paying attention or I wasn't timing things right. It can get frustrating. But that's all part of the process, is understanding that, maybe you gotta take your time, or maybe you gotta take a step back, or even there was like a cogwheel. Like I even told Will, I was like, all right, you go first, and we'll go from there. And it was still the equal fail rate of that situation. But I really enjoyed the game. I thought the game looked great. I think for, like I said, for $50, you're getting a hell of an experience. Even a game that I thought personally, after rolling the credits and everything, I was like, they could have asked for more. They could have asked for the full 70 for this game, and they could have got it. Would it have sold as many copies as it did, or been doing as well as it did? Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. But the $50 is a hell of a deal for what you're going to experience in the game.
I agree with a lot
Um,
of what RPG said, and also I think they could have asked for 60, maybe not the full blown 70, but 60. And just to keep it short, I think the same thing as well. I think the game was amazing. I think it's a Gotti contender. I think it's a must play. It's very polished, very clean, very crisp, very. It just feels like a complete game. No issues there. Very, very creative. And if you guys played any of their games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I just want to give you guys a quick little spiel about that. Now, the main meat and bones of this conversation, and I'm going to start with Falky first, and I'm going to go ahead and read this little section right here real quick because Split Fiction has been, so far, it's only been the weekend, but it's been extremely successful. And I'm going to have two questions for Falky. But first, let me go ahead and give him some of the information here. So, Split Fiction is one of the most played games right now, right? It is in competition with games like Monster Hunter Wilds, NBA 2K25, Fortnite, and Call of Duty. Right, mind you, this is, I don't want to say an indie, but maybe double A kind of studio where they're not huge, but they definitely have big money backing them if they need it. Especially since they're signed with EA Originals, which is who their publishing company is. What we know is that over the weekend, 50 I think it was believed as 50% of the sales came from PlayStation, and there's over two or roughly about 200 player count on Steam. So the game is blowing up. People are playing it. So with the success of this game, Falky, two questions. The first one is this game is hugely successful. You can play this game. Well, you need to play it co-optively, right? But you can do couch co-op or you could do online co-op. The second thing is Hazellight Studio has published a game every 3 years for the last 10 years. The previous game before that was Brothers, which came out in 2014. So between 2014 and 2018 was their longest stretch of time, which was about 5, 6 years between they came out with a game.
And in this game, 2001 to 2005.
Yes, but back then they were just like a super indie team. Now that they got the staff, they got the money, and they're well-oiled machine. They're churning games out, and that's not even including the Brothers remaster that they dropped last year. So that's a total of 4 games. Folky, do you think that studios should be producing game at a higher rate than they're producing now, and we have Hazelight Studios as an example, or is Hazelight Studios producing the amount of games that they make? Is that they're a unicorn? Their titles are just too small. You know, they're in a league of their own. Kind of like how we compare Nintendo and PlayStation. Well, Nintendo is just Nintendo, right? Is this a similar situation with Hazelight Studio, or do you think the industry as a whole needs to publish games a little bit faster, but still keep the same quality or better? What do you think about that? You being a numbers guy, does it make sense, or am I talking shit? It Takes Two. I agree. Yeah. Yeah, Break, Sunbreak, I think it was.
Why? Rise.
Rise,
Yeah,
Rise. Oh
Rise.
yeah, right, Rise.
They're different teams. I think this is the world team now, the bigger team.
I
That's
don't
been
think
about 7 years.
I don't think World made this.
I am sorry. It wasn't supposed to end this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. I agree.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a follow up, Falky, real quick, because I agree with you. I play a lot of indie games. I mean, Nelson makes fun of me because I beat like 90 games a year, but a lot of them are freaking, 10-hour games, 12-hour games because I play a lot of indies, right? Um, what about this formula? Because I saw a hint of it with Ubisoft, and I know Ubisoft's a terrible example, but I saw a hint of it a little bit with Ubisoft. And let me know if this makes any sense. We saw with PlayStation and their live service games and how they canceled a shit ton of them, and some of these studios broke themselves up into two, three teams, and those two, three teams. I told the guys that you have your A team working on the big game, then you have your B team that's working on the second biggest one, and then whatever. But with Ubisoft, what I mean is we saw Prince of Persia, right, which was cartoony art style side scroller game, very very good. Unfortunate that it didn't make what Ubisoft wanted to make, and there won't be no sequel. And then you have Assassin's Creed, not even a year later, or roughly a year later, coming out, right? The big budget. So, do you think instead of some of these studios kind of doing what they're doing, maybe they should split up into two and have more of an indie style team where they're producing games every 3 years and then every 5, 6, 7 years come out with that big one? Does that make sense, or is it feasible, or is that a stupid idea?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, as from a gamer's perspective, right? Not even caring about how much money a game makes or how many copies sold. One of my biggest complaint with the length of time, which I mentioned earlier, is that all right, you're gonna take 6, 7 years to make a game. Fine. But then these games come out and they're mediocre at best, right? And we have one of the biggest examples, Ubisoft, right? It's like, okay, you guys took all this time and money. Yes, you guys release more than one game a year, but it's like if you're gonna take that much time, then make it good. Don't waste my time. We were talking about Kojima earlier, how Kojima is in his 60s, right? How many more games does this guy have inside of him? Not that many. He's nearing towards the end of his career if he's not there already. So that's one of the biggest thing about the length of time is, yeah, sure, I'm a gamer. I play a lot. I want to play more. I'm a huge fan. So of course I want the games, but I know that it's a process. But just don't give me bullshit at the end of it. RPG, what do you think about? You mentioned what we like about the game, but do you think what I asked Folky is reasonable? Is that something you would like to see? What would you like to see as far as the pacing of games released in the video game industry?
At like Hazelight and the double A and the indie scene, I think that they're hitting the nail on the head as far as what they're producing and the quality they're producing. Do I think that uh, these AAA first party games are taking way too long? Yeah, I do. I think that the especially some of them that are coming out are not hitting well. We're seeing things like Redfall that is bombing. We're seeing things like Suicide Squad that's bombing. Whether those were live service or they're single player games, they're just not very well
Received.
managed. Yeah, and they're not cheap either. They're stupid expensive. And when you have a stupid expensive game and it comes out the door and it flops, well, can you really blame the studio being closed? No, you can't really blame the studio being closed. But then again, that more comes to the owners, the bean counters, the ones that are driving like, well, hey, we're gonna need another 6 months to a year to get the spit shine on this product. Oh no, well we got to put that thing out in the next 3 months, so make it happen. But it's gonna fail. We don't care. Make it happen. So yeah, and then they act shocked, like, well, oh, why did it fail? Well, because you had us put out a product that wasn't fucking ready. So yeah, and so I'm ready to see some of these indie studios like Hazelight and these other studios come out and kind of put the AAA's feet to the fire and go, hey, if you don't get your shit together, we're gonna overtake you, and we're gonna do it for cheaper, and we're gonna do it better.
Well, what is it, RPG? The last four game of the years, two have been won by smaller games. You got
Hmm.
Astrobot and you have It Takes Two, and possibly this year, Split Fiction. So super, super interesting. Henry, what about you? What do you think about the pacing in release games? Can other developers
Mm,
replicate what Hazelight's doing? What do you think?
no, I don't think any AAA owned by a publisher studio can replicate that. Aside from like, Insomniac could, depending on, if they drop another Spider-Man game, sure, they can maintain. But if they drop something completely different from Spider-Man, hell no, they can't do it. Um, I just feel like the bigger studios, they got to produce to a certain level with a certain budget because they got to pay a certain amount of salaries, and they just so big so they can't afford to drop a smaller budget game because they got so many bills to pay already.
That and
So
a smaller game is going to cost twice as much as it takes that for Hazelight to make it in the first place.
you know what I'm saying. So
Well,
if
let me ask you
Insomniac,
this: if you got fired from your job and you were making 5,000 a month, would you
uh-huh.
rather not make any a month or make 500 a month?
I mean,
Like, would you
obviously,
rather your net loss be 5,000 or your net loss be 4,500? That's the way that I see it. It's like instead of your AAA fucking taking 7 years and you're not
And
making
robbing
any
somebody.
money,
mm,
you
I
might as well
don't.
make that work for you.
I don't. I don't think that you can really do that with. I get what you're saying, but like these companies are so big and they just got so much wrapped up in what they're doing, they can't afford to do that. You know what I'm saying? So if it was me as an individual, sure, but I don't have 200 other individuals riding on what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I don't have to pay a certain amount at a building. I don't have to pay HR. I don't have to pay insurances. I don't have,
Machines, the
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I don't have to pay all that. So
But wait, didn't we just talk about this earlier where Xbox has been feeding off Microsoft's wallet for years without making any money or making, not making the money they should have been making? Why can't we apply that same logic to a studio that's, has a big deal with a publisher and the publisher's backing them and they haven't really been making money, but they can put something out to at least bring something in till they get their
because
shit
that's
together.
not no because sure Xbox and Mark they doing, but that's not the goal. You don't want to be in that position. Sure, they can do it, but they not just that's not what they aiming to do. They want to make as much money as they can make, and sure they can fall back on what Microsoft
Yeah,
is
they
giving
almost
them.
closed that shit down twice, and they. I bet
Yeah,
you right now, if they could go back, they would have.
yeah. So it's not like oh we just gonna do it and we just can rock off what Satya giving us. Hell no, Satya want them to make the most they can make. So again, you can't say oh well if
Yeah, there's
as
a
long
reason
as
Tony
long
Hawk 3 and 4, number three's only getting the skate parks, but there's no 4 campaign in it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's not like
They already cutting
Xbox Game
corners.
Studios got the leeway. Sure, they got the leeway, but it's not it's not ideal, you know, because they want to produce a game to sell 10 million or 8 million or whatever million, and because this is why Xbox in the situation in the first fucking place. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise they wouldn't be putting fucking games on PlayStation. Because if they was producing the shit to sell the numbers and do this and do that, we wouldn't be getting these fucking games on PlayStation. If Starfield had sold 15 million, you think these bitches would be coming over here? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? They
No
wouldn't
way.
be. So it's that's what I'm saying. It's like I get what you're saying. So like yeah, we making some money, so it's cool. Fuck no. Cause and me personally, like as a smaller studio, sure you can do that. But if you own by PlayStation, if you own by Nintendo, if you own by Ubisoft or whomever, you know, you don't want to because at the end of the day, if you don't hit a certain amount of number, they finna shut your shit down anyway. They shutting your studio down. So you might as well not even rely on that. You could if put your fucking game out, do the best you can fucking do,
So
sell
it's
your
the
five, six,
go
seven
all
million.
in all the time mentality.
That yeah, and that's how I'm looking at it. Because if I got a studio, it's me, you, Nelson, RPG, and Falky. It's us, and we making a fucking game. We trying to sell fucking 5, 8, 9, 10 million. Fuck the bullshit. We trying to move copies. I'm not taking no Game Pass deal. I'm not taking no Plus deal. We working until we produce a quality game like Split Fiction developers. They since they not owned by no, or are they owned by anybody? I'm not sure,
No, just a
but it's
publishing deal.
so it seems as though they can go out and do whatever the fuck they want to do and put out a good quality game and
Hmm.
sell what they need to sell to keep making games. You know what I'm saying? So we'll put a game out to sell what we need to sell to keep producing, keep working, and you can pay for whatever you need to pay for. Our homes taken care of, our wives don't got to go to work, and car notes, light bills, etc. This how we make our money. But when you owned, you ain't got that freedom. You got to make what the fuck they tell you to make, and if you don't hit these numbers, you go into the fucking unemployment line.
Yep. Nelson, what about you? Anything to
Go with
add to
Henry,
that?
man. I mean, yeah. I mean, Sony has tried the smaller games and shit like that, and nobody bought the motherfuckers. So
Who?
what? What do you mean, Japan Studio?
What you said? No, I'm saying what? Who? You said Sony tried the small.
Yeah, a lot of places have.
Yeah, but
Nobody buys the shit.
games are like they're trends, right? Right now, I mean, fuck, PlayStation knows. That's why they had Yoshida, and they have whole departments for this, right? For indies, they don't do them, but they go out and find them.
They don't do them because they can get them done in China for 2 mil instead of 50 mil.
Well, that's besides the point. They eventually want to get them done. Or I'm
No, they
sorry,
don't.
no, they eventually
They don't
want
want to get
to.
them done here.
But they do want to get the market. That's the same reason they jumped into live service. That's where all the money is with the low. I don't want to say low cost, but where you can really make it financially feasible for you, except the risk is extremely high. But you would think, because games are like trends, right? The 360, we saw the first person shooter fucking genre blow up. It kind of hasn't really been that ever since, except for the live service stuff. So indies, it's up next because they're the ones who are actually pushing gaming forward per se. I don't know. I think there's a lot of opportunities, and I think that sometimes these companies, and not just the gaming industry, but companies in general, they just think there's only one way of doing things, and they've dug themselves so deep that that is the only way they think they can get out, or the only way that the numbers
Well,
match out.
Hazelight and the fake Pokemon game are the only ones that have really blown up over the years. So
Fake Pokemon.
whatever the hell it's called.
Power World.
Power World.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look at that, a fucking double A studio saving the big
They're
dick
saving
in the gaming
BioWare.
world.
I still think they're gonna shut down BioWare, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you take a game that's been out less than 3 months, and you're throwing it on a subservice to get people to
yeah, a 10-year game.
inside of it.
A 10-year game
Yeah,
from a major studio.
it sucks because BioWare used to be.
You
good,
know it's
but
really
what they
bad
are
when they
now-
say players and not sales. Like we had 1 million players. Like
Yeah,
how many
well,
sales is that? Like 700K,
And that's the thing.
600K.
That's the biggest thing that I hate about the game industry is because if you try to follow a trend, well, your game's gonna take fucking years to make. That trend is gonna fucking burn out. So
It's gonna change 3 times.
by the time you come out with that game, that trend would have been hot in 2020, 2019. Now it's fucking 2025 going on 2026. Like, bro, you fucking 5 years too late on that. And I think that's what Suicide Squad happened to and a couple other games. Uh, and the last topic I want to get into, guys, is did y'all see, and this is Henry's topic really, is the new studio that PlayStation is creating in California. You guys hear about that?
Place to create a studio, the most expensive place in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Nelson talked.
Well, Falky's
Just
here,
comment
so
on
he's
my
the numbers
video.
guy. Henry, you go ahead and ask Falky the question. But for those of you guys that don't know, PlayStation is creating a new studio in California. I don't know where. I think San Diego maybe or LA. I don't fucking know.
It's
It's
in
in
LA. LA.
Oh
money
god.
money
So
pit of the
Fucking
fucking world.
bullshit.
so it's
Yeah.
one of the biggest,
Let
one of
me.
the most expensive counties in California. Okay. They're creating a
They
new
can make sure
studio,
to pay that 40% taxes. You better
and
sell all the
Garbage.
copies.
and I think what they're focusing on multiplayer games. Is it?
Yes, multiplayer, but they're gonna be doing
Okay.
co-op games.
Wendell.
Yeah.
Other exterior studio that helps other teams too. So I don't really get that. I can tell you that one's not going to be it.
No, yeah, Fair Games ain't gonna make it. Yeah, because I would have felt like in there they was going through canceling stuff that if this were a studio producing a game where they didn't have any faith in, this would have been canned as well. Because yeah, they got Marathon coming, and they also have that Gummy Bears game coming, and Fair Games coming, which I think they need to go ahead and cancel Fair Games. I don't think they're gonna do nothing. The heist style is too niche. You're not gonna have a successful heist style a shooter. They might as well hang that up. Marathon, I give some faith to because though there aren't many big,
Extraction.
big extraction shooters, the ones that they do have, people play Tarkov. People play. It's one recently that just came out a couple months ago. It's on PC right now. It's from China. Um, Black. It's Black something. Black out. It's something. It just came out from China. It don't make no difference what name it is, but it's a extraction game. And so the ones that they got are popping. So I do feel like if Bungie put out a solid in Marathon, they put out a solid extraction shooter. It's room there because it's still not a top three in that subgenre of shooter. It's only two, so they could get in where they fit in right there. But as far as this studio, what I do like from what they said was that they're running lean and efficient. What I like about that is you got people there who want to be there, who focused on getting the work done. It's not overly blown up with budget and personnel and salaries and whatnot. And yeah, and even if on the negative side, if it do fall through, it's not that many people there that will be displaced if the studio end up having to fold in and shut down. Otherwise, you have a 150 person team and they putting the game out and it don't make it, and then they have to shutter the studio and they go online and everybody online, oh, another studio shut down, blah blah blah, all this bullshit. So it's just a couple people there trying to get it in action, get it popping, and if it come out and it's successful and they need more help pushing more content, then they can hire. Even though they hire now, but like I said, they focus on running lean and efficient. Cause like when me and my brother, that's what we do. We had two other guys, they wasn't up to snuff. We got rid of the motherfucker. So yeah, we work more hours and but we also get to keep all the money. You know what I'm saying? So you get in, you get out what you put in, you know. So that's why I like the idea of a smaller teams focusing and you're not wasting money and resources on keeping people there who at their cubicle talking, want to take extra long breaks, want to take all these smoke breaks and do all this extra unproductive shit. That's what I like. I like lean. I like that's just what I like. Even though some people will say, "Oh, well, that just mean they're gonna leverage AI." So the fuck what if they leverage AI? You know what I'm saying? Because if they leverage AI and it's quicker and better, let them leverage the AI. You know what I'm saying? Just let them do it because they're gonna do it anyway. Because that's just where tech is going these days. They gonna use the AI. So either and which is another because if they end up shutting it down, it's less jobs to be lost because they got small amount of people there, and you're not putting AI out of a job. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a ton of people, they all gonna be displaced. Whether you got 20 people and some AI, you know what I mean? This is how I look at it. Try to make sense of it. And I'm a multiplayer gamer. I like these games, and I feel like it's also good that it's a whole nother studio making the multiplayer games as service games, as opposed to getting Naughty Dog or Santa Monica or Insomniac to make them because PlayStation Nation don't like the idea of their mainstay studios making multiplayer games. They just don't like it, and they also don't like PvP. So this
Fuck
is a
multiplayer
no.
games. I hope they
Nah,
burn and fucking die.
these bitches heat, bro. These bitches heat. So they got a different studio making them, and it's co-op. So it should be fine as long as the game come out. Now, if the game don't come out, I'm gonna be pissed. But if it come out and it's fun, I'm gonna fucking play it. You know how I get down. I play these bitches all day, every day.
Yeah, no, I don't. I dislike live service games. I dislike multiplayer games. I mean, co-op games are decent as long as I can play it solo or like a single player co-op experience. But
Fuck that. I dislike single player games. I dislike story narrative driven. I
mhm.
dislike them bitches, bro.
Well, you're
Fuck
the
them games.
majority. You know what I'm saying? You're the majority. I think more people are now playing multiplayer games than single player games. I mean, it's still like Falky said, there's still a demand. I mean, when these big
Yeah.
AAA games sell, they're selling 10 million copies, 20 million copies. It's insane the numbers they do sometimes. But as an old school, I grew up with Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo. I think most of us were, maybe a little bit older, but right around that era.
Super Nintendo dead. Super Nintendo
It
dead,
is
man.
that. But we've that's just the way that I am, and a lot of I think of the core hardcore gamers also very similar. But hey,
Yeah.
I think we should call it a night. We've been going for a while. I want to thank
Yeah.
all you
Yeah.
guys for being here today, man. We had some good topics, some good conversation. The Death Stranding release date really surprised me a little bit. I didn't think it was going to be this soon, but hey, summer is the perfect time right now. We don't have much announced for the summer, really. We
It was a
have
good
the
surprise.
Yeah, good surprise. Kojima snapped with that 10-minute trailer. I mean, I'm gonna go watch it again. The music he picked is phenomenal as always. And but yeah, it was pretty decent.
But
And
hold on, let
yeah,
me ask you
Hero,
something. Let me ask you
yeah,
something. Since Kojima dropping June 20, when the fuck you think Ghost of Yotei gonna drop?
fall probably. If
Oh,
if if
okay.
if this will be dropping in summer, which I thought Yote was gonna be summer, but if this is summer,
That's what I was
I
thinking. I
think
thought
Yote will
Yotei
be
was gonna
fall.
be May or June.
Yeah, right around there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the real question for me, honestly, because we know these games will come out this year, is when is Intergalactic coming? And we
20.
know, I know, I know, I know, I know, but I would like a date on that, and I would like to see more from that game, like, because I don't understand the people that have been saying, "Oh, masterpiece." It's like, how, bro? All you saw was CGI. Like, there's nothing there, dude, except a fucking commercial for Adidas and Porsche. Like, okay, the idea is cool, but I mean, I mean, we don't know, right? So I'm not gonna dismiss it,
Oh
but I'm also
shit.
not gonna fucking gas it up like it's a second coming or anything. But no, thank you guys for being here. And Hero, yeah, I saw your comment, bro. Maybe Folky has to change the settings so he can share his voice on a party chat while live. But we'll fix that with him in a little bit. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for being here. Nelson, as always, he's my co-host.
Nelson,
RPG, I
hell
don't know if he's
yeah.
still here, but thank you for being here. I'll put all their links to their channels and stuff here on the description when we close out the the podcast. And for those of you guys that showed up, thank you. I know that we get a lot of our viewers throughout the week. Sunday nights, it's either hit or miss. But hey, I made this so we can talk
A
gaming
lot
with
of
the
people are in
boys.
bed. They got work in the morning.
Yeah, that's every week, Nelson, but we still get numbers. Nelson works. Nelson's the only one that works fucking 8 days a week and shit.
7.
But thank y'all so much.
You whine like you work 8.
Right? Like he works 12 days a week. RPG, let the people know where they can find you real quick.
You can find me on Twitter. You can find me every Tuesday night on the co-op stream playing some random game with Will. I'm pretty certain we're probably gonna play Split Fiction again this Tuesday, I imagine.
Maybe.
But you can find me on PlayStation. And you can also find me in the Discord, Will's Discord. That's the easiest and the best way to find me is
Yeah.
through there.
And look, guys, I said this numerous times, but if you're sensitive to language, if you're sensitive to different opinions,
Find another show.
then find somewhere else. Look, man, I get it. We're all different. I try to adapt a little bit. Like, I'm not just going to be saying the most craziest shit, but I am who I am. You know what I mean? And if I want to say fuck and bitches scissoring, like, I'm sorry that offends you. You know, I really am. I wish you were like that, but it is, and I wish I wasn't like that sometimes. But look, I made this so we can talk to the boys about it and not filter ourselves. As long as we're not being disrespectful, that's all I care about. You know what I mean? But this is kind of a safe space to a certain extent.
Respected.
Well, you're a pussy. But yeah, so if you're coming here to get like facts after facts after facts, that's not it. We're here to talk video games and the stuff that we like, what we don't like, how Neil Cuckman is a fucking pussy, and RPG thinks he's a genius. So you're gonna get both sides on most of the stuff. But please don't feel offended. Please don't feel, like an outcast. You're welcome here, no matter what. We have Brett. Come on, Brett, a bot who promotes Game Pass. He buys games too, but we have him in our group. So if Brett can make it with us, you can too. But thank you, Henry. Let the people know where they can find you, please.
It's just Henry YouTube. I mean, it's just Henry Heck on YouTube. It's just Henry on X. And inside the Discord, hop in the Discord. I'm in that joint.
Facts.
Posting news articles and gameplay clips of what I'm playing right now and what I will be playing. And talking shit. You know, that I like to do that. I'm a shit talking individual. I like to talk shit.
Henry likes to poke the bear with me, and he thinks it's funny when I get mad. So
Oh yeah, that shit. That shit.
Don't we all?
if you see me live stream or something and
Don't
Henry's
take
there,
much.
come in, because Henry will fucking say some bullshit that will get me going, and you'll have a good
Yeah.
laugh.
All you have to say is the Switch 2 does not look like the Switch 1.
Don't you
Lose his
fucking
shit.
start.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you start with that shit. Henry, or I'm sorry, David, thank you for being here, man. Where can people find you? Hey, are you
You can find him on
cooking?
Doomsayer's show yesterday. I just listened to that at work
Oh,
today.
he was a
making,
Doom?
making
Oh,
grilled
that was
cheese.
Yeah.
a great show.
Half of it. Oh wait, no, that was Logic. I'm thinking of Logic.
Yeah, I like Doom. Doom was the first podcast I ever did. That's where I met Nelson. Nelson doesn't remember because he can't remember what he ate for a snack before the podcast.
Yeah, I have a
Um,
problem.
But I just like Doom, man. He's like so chill, and I don't know. I like him a lot. So shout out to
I don't
Doom.
know him.
Doom. Oh, bro, Doom's a beast. He's also a croc lover for all you croc lovers out there. And then
It's supposed to be, I think, starting up something here real soon in the next month or two. Something
yeah,
a little bit different.
he keeps saying that.
That's been the story for about
He's
8
got
months or
kids. I
so.
get it.
Yeah, I would like to invite him on the show, but I know that with his schedule,
I
he
have
probably
plans to
will
do
never.
a lot of things, but when I have free time, it's usually just fucking end up sleeping.
Yeah. And then, of course, our co-host, Mr. Nelson Gaming. No, let's not call him Mr. Nelson Gaming Culture. Let's call him Mr. Negative Nancy. Nelson has been negative for the last, what will you say, Henry? 2 weeks now?
Not about China.
Well, not about China. Nelson wants to go move to fucking, I don't even know, Hong Kong and fucking be a Chinese citizen or Hong Kong citizen.
No, I definitely don't want to move there. I just want their goddamn games.
Yeah, me too. They're fucking putting off fire right now. But a little bit of a preview. I'm trying to set it up with the boys. I don't know if we can do this next week if you guys are available or in a couple weeks, but we really got to get that podcast done where we rate the top 20 games from PlayStation. I think that's going to be a really popping show. I'm going to bring a list of like 50 games from the PS3,
You
PS4,
definitely want to
PS5
fit it
era.
in before the middle of May when the shows start to hit, because we'll have plenty of
Yeah.
other shit to talk about.
Yeah, and basically the whole panel has to vote the game in. So for example, or the majority. So if we're talking about game number 5, the best 5 game of PlayStation from the PS3, PS4, PS5 era, the majority of the panel has to vote it in that slot or it doesn't go in that slot. So it should be a great conversation. For example, Last of Us Part 2 will be on that list, and me and Henry, or not Henry, me and Nelson are voting no. So we got to figure out how to get that yes in order to place it where the fuck we're going to place it. So it's going to be a great conversation. So if you guys listening out there want to be part of it, just let me or Nelson know. We'll fit you in. Once again, this isn't who you know to get in on the show or how pop. None of that bullshit. If you want to talk games and you're able to come on, we will get you on, no problem. Same thing with the Just Playing stream.
Folky's been muted.
Yeah, I know.
Muted,
I know.
He's probably not sharing.
Yeah. The Just Playing stream on Tuesday, same thing. But that's all I got for y'all today. Nelson, you got anything to say, bro? You've been kind of silent tonight, except for your outbursts and interruptions when we're talking.
That's what I'm good for. No, I was eating popcorn anyways. Which reminds me, I gotta order popcorn.
Nothing to say then?
What? I'm talking.
Yeah, I know. No? Okay. Well, thank y'all so much for being here, and we will catch you tomorrow. Stay tuned, 7 a.m. I have a new video coming up, and it is a mail call video. So we will see you guys tomorrow. Keep it gaming.